All right, we'll get started here in just a couple minutes. What's up, Glenn? How we doing? All right, let's get this started. So what's going on, everybody? WakoBako here. As you can see by the thumbnail, we've got some binders to go through today. So I'm still waiting for some stuff to come in to actually open up, which, looking at my emails, there should be a lot coming in this week, which is awesome. So we should be good to go for more content. But I was sitting here the other day and I'm looking at that shelf that's above my desk, and I was looking at all the binders and I was like, you know, I want to go back through a lot of these and check them out. It's been a while. So I won't be going through every single binder that I have, mainly because I have a whole bunch that are like partial fills or there's almost nothing in there, so I didn't see the point. So I'm gonna go through and show you some of my more favorite binders, some of the binders that are almost complete, and then the ones that are complete, and then just some weird, just random ones that I've collected, or little random subsets that I'm working on. So yeah, should be a good time. No idea how long it's going to take, because looking behind me, I've got, I don't know, maybe close to 20 binders we're going to go through. But we're gonna start with this one here in a second. But I wanted to show this one off because this one came in recently. One of the few things I've gotten on the Pokemon Center website as of late. But check this out. So, and it's a pretty big binder, so it barely fits. But this is when they did the Pokemon Fossil Museum in Chicago. They actually put stuff up on the Pokemon Center website to get a bunch of their random merch. And this is what I got. This is the only thing I really wanted out of that. I haven't decided if I want to open this up and put my completed English and Japanese fossil set in here. I haven't really decided. I mean, that would make the most sense, right? Put fossil Pokemon in fossil binder. But yeah, this is really neat. I like the color on this. It's another one of those like padded covers, so it's nice, a little bit of cushion to it. But yeah, the colors are very bright, vibrant. Everything just looks really nice on this. So yeah, again, haven't decided what I'm going to do with it just yet. It's kind of just sitting off to the side. All right. So the other thing to keep in mind is in terms of order, because of course I have a system for everything. We're going to go from some of the more modern and most recent sets, and then we're gonna close out with the vintage stuff. Trying to save some of the best for last, even though there's some great modern sets, obviously. But and we'll talk about them. We'll talk about when I got into collecting them, and my progress with them, and how I feel about them. And feel free to ask any questions as we go along. But we're gonna start with one of my newer binders here. Again, another one of those nice padded ones. I like it, kind of has like that fake marble-esque kind of view. But this is my Mega Dream EX binder. Now, there is one other binder that's not Pokemon related. It's not Final Fantasy related. I'm going to do a YouTube short on it. I think it'll be really, really successful, especially because it's something that it's another very popular IP out there. But keep an eye out for that. Okay. Mega Dream EX. And no, I don't have like a master set. I know there's a bunch of different reverses. I'm kind of just going for, hey, I have a card in the slot and it works from there. Can we see everything? I just want to make sure. I mean, I can try and zoom out a little bit more. Let me see if I can make a little bit more adjustment here. Does that help? We're going to get a little bit of glare, obviously, because of all the lighting, but I'll make do. Just let me know. But yeah, pretty cool set. Again, I've mentioned before, I wasn't really going to get into any of the Mega Evolution sets, mainly because I'm not the biggest fan of Megas. But I saw this set, and obviously, Dragonite being featured in all the Mega Action cards, so definitely had to work on this one. I was looking at how many empty booster boxes I have from this set, and it's way too many. I'll just put it that way. If you have any idea of what comes like a standard Japanese case, yeah, I'll just leave that up to your imagination. But I really do like this, though, especially with these reverses. And so, for instance, right, this, what should have been Dark Doug Trio, but it's Team Rocket's Doug Trio. You have the Rocket symbol there, you have the Energy type reverse, and then the standard card. So it was just neat how they did this. Now, granted, I could get one of those big binders and space them all out. This is just how I store them. Someone's gonna complain that, oh, they're stacked on top of each other. I don't care. This is all my stuff. And I've been doing this for a long time, so. But again, everyone has their own preferences. Hey, what's going on, Nugget? How are you? We're kind of just getting started, so you haven't missed too much. But yeah, and even like, some of these other cards, I'll double sleeve the EXs. If there's a holo that has, let me see. Yeah, so for instance, there's a holo and there's a reverse. Obviously, I'll sleeve both of them separately. Again, that does add up to a lot of sleeves. Just, like usual, right? Collect how you want, collect what you want. That's just my method of how I keep stuff in these binders. The other thing I thought was interesting with this set, right? They didn't do any reverses for any of the item cards. So in theory, your master set, you could have all of the reverses for every single card this direction over. And then again, there was no reverses for any of the items. Good amount of items in this set, obviously. It's a much bigger set. And then we get into some of the art rares. I see these all the time at work, especially because they're very popular and people are submitting these left and right. But I like the Psyduck from this set here. I like the Mag Cargo. Obviously, I like all the Rocket cards. Yeah, just a lot of absolutely cool art rares. And actually, majority of these actually kind of fit a theme of like a Dream-esque kind of theme. So, get to the item cards, which, as you guys know, I've pulled too many of these, and these take up secret rare slots in booster boxes. But we got the notorious Ends PP up there. I love it. It's so random. The other thing I thought was weird with this set, so they did Dreepy and Dracolok, but there's no third evolution for this. They didn't put it in here. I don't even know if there's one that fits its art style in any other sets, so I thought that was kind of weird. Unfortunately, you know, they did this, which they could have done away with this and did the full evolution line, but that's just me. I like the Zekrom as well. That one's kind of sick. Cynthia. I didn't even know Cynthia had a Spiritomb, but I mean, obviously she does. But yeah, it's a pretty cool looking card as well. Getting some of the trainer cards, which again, I was surprised that they did so few trainers and one stadium. But then we get into my favorite part of this set. It's the Mega Action Rares, which you'll see in a minute when I emphasize that I like them. I have multiple sets, and I treat them as like a subset, right? All these Mega Actions, as you see going forward. Yeah, the Mega Actions are some of my favorite things as of, you know, in terms of modern and recent sets. Because again, they kind of give me like comic book vibes, and all the colors are bright and vibrant. So I have a complete set in this binder, and then I have a complete set graded in all CGC Pristine 10s. You guys have seen that before. Yeah, I know there's a bit of a glare here. I could kind of like prop it up with my hand. Yeah, I guess I can do that. That'll help, right? But yeah, Mega Actions. Once I saw these, I knew I had to have them. So again, complete set here, complete graded set, but there's more. Now we get in the SARs. I'm only missing one SAR, unfortunately, and that's the Gengar. I got really lucky pulling the God Pack early on, which gave me a lot of the SARs, which is nice because, as you all know, they're expensive. And then I kind of piecemealed some of the other ones you guys have seen in prior videos. Yep, the absolutely beautiful Mega Dragonite, which you're probably asking, what did I leave behind in here? So, yes, I did take this out of the graded card encapsulation. You guys remember I submitted 2 of these. One of them came back as a pristine, and then the other one came back as a 9. So I still kept the label. I just keep it behind. I do that every once in a while if I'm going to crack a slab and it goes in a binder. It's just more for me. So the only other card I'm missing, right? I'm only missing 2 cards in this set. The card that goes here is the gold Mega Dragonite. So I'm only missing 2 cards from this entire set. The Mega Gengar that goes here, which is way too expensive to just outright buy. The Dragonite that goes here is getting cheaper, but it's still out of my price range to just buy outright. And then with a lot of these sets, right, because I pull duplicates all the time, I'll start putting them in order from Art Rares and forward. I don't really keep all the EXs and stuff in here. But yeah, good amount of duplicates in here. Again, I've opened up a lot of this set. Yeah, and this is the unfortunate part, at least for me. Hey, what's going on, Maz? How we doing? Yeah, it has been a long time. Hopefully all is well. Yeah, when you see these, right, and you know, again, how many booster boxes I've opened, these take a spot of, you know, something else. But again, it is what it is. I don't mind. I space this out just in case I get any more items and then, you know, any more arenas. And then here's another full set of the Mega Actions. I told you I really like these. So I have 3 full sets of the Japanese, right? One that goes with the set, one extra set here, and then the graded set. Well, I know I showed it off recently, but I'm gonna do another submission or another collection showcase at some point. I'll go through all my graded cards again. But yeah, so, and then there's some duplicates that I have here, but I'm not done. So the 2 other SARs that I pulled that were duplicates, which is kind of crazy to have duplicate SARs. And then here, you're probably like, oh, I thought you didn't have any more Mega Actions. Well, nope, I do. These are all the English iterations. Now, unfortunately, they're not all from the same sets. We have some of the promos here. Actually, these 3 are promos. And then some that came in the Ascended Heroes set. So I'm working on completing that as well. And as you can see, I'm only missing one of them. So I think that one's in the mail, or I just need to buy it. It's fairly cheap. But so I'll have a full English set, 2 full Japanese sets, and then a graded Japanese set as well. So I definitely got a bunch of these as they were cheaper. Oh yeah, the Gengar. Yeah, that's the only one I haven't bought yet. But yeah, that's the Mega Dream EX binder again. Big fan of these Mega Action rares, so that's why I kept getting more and more of them. Probably won't get any more. I'll probably just sit on what I have. But again, I'm only missing 2 cards to complete this set. Really, really awesome set. Definitely glad that I made the progress I did, especially while it was cheaper. All right, move this over here. Okay, on to the next. I don't know if I'm going to spend that much time on every single binder because we'll be here for 14 hours. But I will talk about them, and we'll kind of go about our business. So let me actually move this out of the way. I forget that where I store that binder is right in the spot where my lamp goes. Okay, I'll put this down here for now. Okay, on to the next. My notorious Team Rocket binder, which, you know, it's unfortunate. I looked back on Amazon from the company I got this from, and they don't sell this binder anymore, which, I mean, it's awesome for me because I have one. It's sad that others can't get it and I can't get another one. We're not going to show the entire binder just yet because there's some vintage Team Rocket in here. We will double back to this, but what I'm going to do is, obviously I have this tabbed out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just flip right to that section. And yes, you see there's some vintage there. Again, we'll double back to this, don't worry. So the set I want to show off is the Glory to Team Rocket set. You guys know how I feel about it, especially if you were around when I was opening this set and how I felt since. It literally hasn't changed one bit. It could have been much better, but I'm not going to complain anymore. I'll take it, especially because the Japanese set actually has Team Rocket in the name, not the English set. But yeah, let's look through this here. Got good old Growlithe and Arcanine there. But again, there's, outside of there being too many Rotoms in this set, I really wish there would have been dark Pokemon in this set. That was one of the biggest misses for me. I won't dwell on any of the negatives anymore, but this was a pretty cool set. A lot of really awesome artwork, and a lot of artwork that kind of brought me back to some of the older vintage Team Rocket stuff, which we will look at in a little bit. Wait, what? Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, the best boys. Yep, absolutely. All right, so now we get into the art rares and the SARs. Again, some really cool artwork, right? I really like the Wobbuffet in this set, especially because it makes sense. Yeah, and then, you know, some of the secret rares. I do like the kind of shadowy effect, and I collected these in my little mini binder where it's like a trainer and the Pokemon there. I thought that was really neat. They carried that into the Mega Evolution set, but instead of it being a trainer and the Pokemon, it's just the regular form in the shadow and then the Mega in the focus. So as you can see here, I'm only missing 1 card from this set, and for some reason throughout my Pokemon collecting history, this one Pokemon evades me probably more than anybody else, and it's the Mewtwo that goes here. So I've struggled with Mewtwo cards for some reason, even when, you know, Pokemon Go came out. Just a lot of other iconic sets where Mewtwo was a big hit, and it took me forever to get it. The most recent pickup was the Moltres here. Absolutely beautiful card there. But yeah, the Nidoking is definitely one of my favorites, Pete. It's such a sick looking card, and it really emphasizes like the Team Rocket vibe, but how strong Nidoking is. So definitely a favorite there. But yeah, like I said, I'm only missing 1 card there. Hopefully I'll be able to complete this set at some point. I do have a few duplicates, but nothing too crazy. Not enough to be like, hey, I'll trade you all of these for the Mewtwo. That would be nice. But yeah, Glory to Team Rocket set. Again, overall for the Japanese set, it was a solid set. Wasn't overall impressed with the English set, and that's why I didn't collect it. But that's just a tidbit and a sneak peek of the Team Rocket binder for now. We will revisit this as we get back to some of the vintage sets. I'm going to put this off to the side so I don't forget. And if I'm going through vintage stuff and you don't see the Team Rocket binder again, someone in chat just put it out there, please. All right. Going through some more modern stuff. We're going to have a bunch of English binders next, especially when you talk about modern. This is one of the kings of modern sets here, good old 151. And I love that it had its own binder. I know they don't do this for every set, but they should, honestly. They already have that partnership with Ultra Pro. Every set should have a binder like this. Because I have a bunch of random binders, as you're going to see, whether it's Card Guard or Vaulted, or Vault X, sorry. Um, but it would be cool to just have a binder, I mean, without it being scalped, but that actually fits with the set. Um, and then it even has a little logo on the side, right? So, yeah. Anyway, 151, one of the biggest sets in recent times, in the recent years. This came out in 2023. It was huge then. It's still huge now. I feel bad for people trying to complete the set now because it's just so expensive. But I'm glad I was able to go through it when I did. Now, I don't have a complete master set right now. I'm very, very close. But luckily, you know, getting some of the reverses is much cheaper than getting, you know, some of the other higher end cards. But the other cool thing that they did with this, right, they kind of went back to form where it's in the order that the cards show in the Pokedex. So obviously it doesn't go in the traditional, you know, grass, then fire, then water kind of pathway that they went to. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, same thing with Crown, which we're going to get to that here shortly as well. What's going on, Squirtle? But yeah, this was such a fun set. I remember 2023, I was on deployment at that time. And I was up in Virginia, and a bunch of my friends were like, hey, we're getting back into Pokemon. And we ripped so much 151 while we were doing our workup training. And I'm glad because I completed most of the set there. And then just picked up, you know, a few stragglers on the tail end. But again, I'm only missing a few reverses, which I do plan on getting. You know, when people think of master set, they're like, all right, cool. They do that so they can end up selling it. Obviously, I'm not going to sell this set. But it'd be one of those things to have a complete master set. I only have a few master sets in my entire collection. And trust me, I'm not intentionally kind of speeding through this. It's the original 151. It's one of my favorites. But I just have a lot of binders to get through. But yeah, a lot of really awesome artwork. They even did some redesigns, which was kind of neat. But yeah, very, very awesome set. All right, now we get into the art rares, which, yeah, this is where it gets real expensive. Even from here, some of these starter art rares are just through the roof now. I remember grading so many of these Charmanders. I had a complete set of all three, right, in Japanese. I had the Bulbasaur line, the Charmander line, and the Squirtle line. That's when I had the eBay store running, and they all sold quickly, which makes sense. But yeah, just some absolutely beautiful cards. I really like this Pikachu, especially because there's so many other Pokemon in this one artwork. There's a little bit of everything for everybody, right? Even my boy Blastoise in the background there. A little bit harder to see, but he is present. And then again, just a lot of really awesome artwork, right? Like the Psyduck, the Poliwhirl, and a lot of like unique designs too, right? Like differing art styles from the Machoke down to Tangela. They did a really good job, and I'm glad that they did. Do I really care which Pokemon they picked for the art rares? No, not really. I mean, it would have been cool to see some more of my favorites get attention, but I'm not going to complain. Just again, a very awesome set overall. Yes, it would have been cool to see a Raichu art rare or an SR, but you know, you take what you can get, right? We could have did without Daisy, but that's just me. What's going on, Wyba? How we doing? And then, of course, right, this is where it picks up and gets even crazier, right? The SARs. Again, they did such an awesome job with these SARs. I've pulled the Zapdos 3 or 4 times now. I actually have 2 that I'm putting off to the side to get graded. The Erica's Invitation, absolutely beautiful, of course. Big man Blastoise here. Just one of the best Blastoise artwork, especially for modern Blastoise. I do like the VMAX Blastoise a lot. But, yeah, just absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, the last but definitely not least, we get the big metal Mew here. This came from the Ultra Premium collection, which, again, another sealed product that is just absolutely through the roof. I collected all the energies, right, because they're all the Cosmic Hollow energies. I had a bunch of promos and stuff sitting in here, right? The 151 stamp, the GameStop stamp. I never got the Squirtle Best Buy one, which if anyone has it, let me know, please. I know it's stupid expensive, but it would be nice to have. And then again, just some of my other favorites here. I used to have all the other duplicates and stuff in here, but I took all that out. And then I just had one last page with some more Cosmo Hollows. But yeah, good old 151. Absolutely amazing set. This is going to be one of those that you look back at 10, 15 years from now, especially completed sets or master sets, anything graded. If it's expensive now, unless there is a horrendous crash sometime soon, this is definitely going to be one of those iconic sets that people are going to go back to. So, all right, on to the next. As I try and keep everything somewhat organized, let's just put it here. Okay, and again, I'm really just covering down, and this from Scarlet and Violet Gen, which this is where I dropped off, unfortunately. A lot of it was because I was on deployment, and you know, for that 14 months, I didn't really have time to you know, collect everything and open everything and go find packs and stuff. So some of those binders are suffering. Not necessarily suffering, but just like, you know, they're not complete, right? And I had a good momentum, especially with Sword and Shield. And as you'll see here in a minute, like my Sword and Shield collection, like I have probably 85% of the entire Sword and Shield collection, including promos, all the different sets, and you're going to see a bunch of that here today. But compared to Scarlet Violet, I don't even think I'm at like 40% of Scarlet Violet, which is kind of unfortunate because there's a lot of great artwork. Next, Obsidian Flames, and yes, I do these little labels on the side of all my binders. I don't have like a label maker. It's not professional. I don't really care. Obsidian Flames. This was another set that I opened up a whole lot of when I was doing the early days of that last deployment. Some really awesome artwork in this set, and no, it's not master set. And just, you know, there's only a few sets that I really want to get master set complete for. Some of the other ones, right, as long as I have a card in the slot, even if it's just the reverse, and I had that for a while where like I didn't even have a regular copy of a card, I just have the reverse. But yeah, another really cool set. Definitely early days of Scarlet Violet. Yes, and that's the big thing, Maz. It's like I'm very organized with this stuff. Even if you see my random binders I'm going to show you. And again, people can collect however they want and go about it, but like if I'm trying to work on a set, it has to be in order. Like it doesn't make sense. They put numbers on there for a reason, but again, some people go through and put them in whatever random order. That's fine. Go with it as you see fit. Good old Charizard EX, the old Terraform Charizard. But yeah, I try and keep, obviously I have a system in place for everything, right? Good old OCD kicks in, and this is where it helps. This Dragonite, which I haven't got one graded yet. I do have an English and a Japanese version in the grading pile. So once I get around to that, yeah, that's going to be fun. Best promo card, in your opinion, which one? All the art rares here in this set are absolutely insane as well. Oh yeah, the Grumpy Charmander. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see that again here in just a minute. Yeah, that was a solid promo for sure. And again, a lot of different varying art styles, right? Like this Cleffa, it's so simple, but it's elegant at the same time. The Ninetales, the Larvitar. I really like the Scizor. I think what would have made this even better, yeah, the Gloom is insane also. I think what would have made this better is if this was Scyther in the background. So you have like the, you know, the battle or the evolution line there. Obviously they just went with two Scizors here, but I think Scyther in the background would have been pretty sick. And then even this art style too, right? You have the Pidgey and the Pidgeotto that go together, and the Pidgeot that matches it. Very, very unique. We got all my Crystal EX full arts here. I remember pulling this alt art Charizard when I was in Virginia. I bought so much of this set when it came out. I think it was one of those sets that I had a case of the sleeve blisters when that was a little more manageable, which even when I was buying it, it was still expensive, but it's nowhere near as expensive now. But yeah, really cool artwork here. I really like that design. Even though there's a lot going on, it's still, especially for modern Charizards, made it a little more unique. I had another Scizor in here just because I really like that artwork. And then these, a lot of people ask me about this. They're like, what are these from? These are from the pre-release kits. So these are just random cards. Obviously, it's not a card from the actual set, but it's just got trainer tips on the back. But these came with the pre-release kits. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to keep up with it and, you know, collect all of these. But, yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. Yeah, I cleaned the rest of this out. I do have that that Charmander promo nugget. So once we get to that, I'll show that off for sure. Actually, let me see. Let me grab that because I don't think. Yeah, I wasn't gonna show off that promo binder. Hold on. So, shift gears real quick. This is my promo binder. I wasn't going to show this just because I'm missing so much of it, but this is my promo binder for Scarlet and Violet. Nowhere near as complete as my one for Sword and Shield, which you guys are going to see here in just a minute. Let me fix that. All good. I feel like I just moved it randomly for some reason. All right. Anyway, sidetrack. Love it. Yeah, I like this one. It's another one of those padded binders. But, yeah, nowhere near as complete as my Sword and Shield binder, but it's a work in progress. And luckily, there's a lot of them in here that are cheap. Laughing in chaos for sure. But let's see. Some pretty cool ones, right? This Arcanine promo. They pretty much took it from the set and gave it the Cosmic Hollow treatment. So that was kind of nice. Like the Pikachu here, I have this in English, Japanese, and Chinese. There's good old Charmander here, still in its original seal. Yeah, very, very cool. Definitely an awesome promo for sure. There are some other random ones I want to show you in here. We got the Mew and Mewtwo, which I remember buying these. I bought these for like $6 or $7 a piece, and now they're stupid expensive, so I'm glad I bought them when I did. Yep, definitely a grumpy boy for sure. He just wants to go outside. So there is a part of this binder. See, oh, I actually have some complete pages here. Oh, so this next page. So you're going to see one of the most expensive modern promos, and then you're going to see two custom cards next to it. And I have to preface it because someone's going to be like, oh, what the hell are those? I put them in this binder for a reason. Yes, they are not real cards. They're not real promos. I just thought it was fitting, especially until I get the cards that go in the slot. Just preface it ahead of time, but here we go. I think you guys will get a kick out of this just as much as I did, but check this out. You guys, you see what I'm pointing at here? Just let this out. Just let this sink in for a second. All right. So, what I'm mentioning, as you can see here, this is the actual promo here. Yep, that's what I was getting to. So this is the Van Gogh Pikachu, still in its original plastic here. These were scalped immediately. They reprinted a good bit, and the price went down. I bought it in that first dip, which I'm glad I did because, again, this is one of the most expensive modern promos now, and it's insane. I wish I had another one to get graded, but unfortunately I don't, so this one will just spend the rest of its life here. And then these were two custom cards. I got these off eBay. I just thought it worked perfectly. Still the same theme. But yeah, Raichu and Blastoise there. I absolutely love it. Yes. Yeah, I do remember that Wabbit. Man, it's crazy to think that it's skyrocketed from there. Even just this card sealed versus it not being sealed, and then the graded version of the card is just so expensive. But yeah, I thought these were pretty neat. Again, once I get the actual cards that go here, I'll put them in the spot. But I thought that just made a cool little binder page there. Yeah, I know. If I had the money at that time, I probably would have bought a few as well. But, you know, you can't really tell with this market of how chaotic and crazy things are going to be. But this is the other reason why I wasn't going to show this off, right? I don't really have much in here. This is a pretty cool page, though, with the Greninja and the Kingdra. But again, definitely a lot to work towards. If anyone has any of the Scarlet and Violet promos that they're not using or they have extras, reach out to me, let me know. I will complete this binder, well, not fully because there's some cards that are crazy expensive, but I'll make some progress on it for sure. All right, put this back. Okay, on to the next, back to the regularly scheduled programming. Now we're going back into Sword and Shield. Again, this was my era for me getting back into collecting. If you guys look at the channel, look at how much content from Sword and Shield base set all the way to Crown Zenith, there is a lot. Kind of made up the bulk of this channel for a long time. But here is my Crown Zenith binder. And yes, did I just take the little ETB cover and cut the piece off of it? Yes, I absolutely did. Still put the name on the side. So the other thing I need to do, even just for myself, I'm going to get some gold stickers. And I know this sounds kind of cheesy, but I want to put gold stickers on the side of these that I know are complete sets. And yes, I do have a complete Crown Zenith set. Just for myself, right? So when I look up at the shelf, I can see which ones are completed or not. All right, but Crown Zenith, another really, really awesome set. This was, in my opinion, the best way to end a generation. Is the good Noodle Stars for sure. This was the best way to end off a TCG generation. Scarlet and Violet, nowhere near. I mean, yes, they had the black and white set, which was awesome, but it doesn't touch this, in my opinion, of course. And again, they brought back some of the more iconic cards from this whole generation, some of the more playable, more popular cards. Outside of that, obviously. But yeah, some awesome artwork in here, even for just the regular holos. They did a really good job. But again, in terms of how Scarlet and Violet ended, this was way better. And in even like comparing this to how Sun and Moon ended, yeah, unfortunately, good old Rotom. I mean, Sun and Moon ended really, really high because they went from Hidden Fates right into Cosmic Eclipse. That's a tough, combo to beat. But for what they did towards the tail end of this generation, doing the Trainer Gallery into the Galarian Gallery, this is going to be one of those sets, definitely a top set. I like how they added all these holos in here also. These are part of the set. And then the Secret Rare Pikachu. I remember having so many of these, and I either sold them off or I got them graded and sold them. So I'm glad I have a couple extras here. But yeah, absolutely insane how expensive these cards are. Really? So what about it, Brock? Was it just like the team up stuff when that happened, or earlier gen? Let me know, because I do have a good amount of Sun and Moon sets, especially completed ones, that I'm going to get to here in a little bit. But I'm just curious what the reasoning behind it. Galarian Gallery, 70 cards of some absolute, 70 of some absolutely amazing artwork. And just every card was just so unique, and I thought they did such a good job. You have the 9-card little subset in here, right? The only way you can get this in the Japanese side is if you pulled it from a God pack. I mean, yes, you can buy them now individually, but you couldn't just open a pack like, oh, I got the Riolu or I got the Swablu. Like, you had to pull a God pack that had the Pikachu and all 9 of those cards. And then you get into some of the higher end stuff, right? Like all the Evolutions, right? You have the 3 legendary dogs. The Mewtwo, which is one of the most expensive cards in the set. I'm working on getting the Japanese version of this card again. I had a set of that and the Charizard. Started in 2015 with XY, Sun and Moon sets. Yeah, and I get that, Brock. It definitely, they increased the set, the total cards in a set, and it made it more difficult. So I get that for sure. Especially like early Sun and Moon, which you'll see here in a little bit, where like, oh my goodness, what's a good one? like Dragon Majesty or Shining Legends, you know, like those two sets were how sets should have stayed, right? That 100 card made, maybe 150 cards at the most. But now you have cards that are 300 plus. It's just too much to just try and collect. So no, I get that for sure. Yeah, you know, Maz, it's one of those things where like you can start with one of the smaller sets. It doesn't have to be one of these crazy sets. There's a lot of like sub 100 card sets. Now you're going to see some of them here today that are a little bit easier to try and work on and collect. So, or you go the route and just open up Japanese product if you don't care about the language, but you like the card quality and the pricing and availability. A lot of the well, you have to think of it this way, and I don't want to distract myself too much because there's a lot to go through today. Ooh, Brock did pull the Rainbow Rare Charizard. Very nice. The GX, right? That's pretty sick. You have to remember, Japanese Pokemon sets, they fuse 2 of them together to make an English set, sometimes even 3 of them. So if you think of how many cards are in a Japanese set, usually around that 90 to 100 cards in a set. A lot easier and more obtainable than some of these sets. So I have a complete set of Evolutions, Breakthrough, Breakpoint, Generations, and nice. Very, very nice. I have some of those as well, which you're going to see here in just a little bit. But that's pretty sick. I like that. Yeah, see this all right? Everything's looking good here. I keep checking just to make sure. But yes, Galarian Gallery was absolutely insane, right? Especially like I like the legendary, the legendary dogs. You had Zacian and Zamazenta. Even the trainer cards. I remember pulling this card in Japanese from V-Star Universe. I bought like 3 packs and pulled it. It was nuts. And then ending off right with the 4 gold cards. Yes, all 4 of these gold cards go together and make a conjointed image, if you will. Supposedly, that new Darkrai SAR that just came out in the latest Japanese set fits into this somehow. I don't think so. Someone would have to prove me wrong, which I'm totally fine with that. Thank you. Yeah, the full art illustrations. Yeah, the full illustrations. Sorry, they are absolutely nice. You got some of these energies. These are the ones that are not part of this set, but I'm just had on the side collecting. You got some more promos, right? So we have the Lucario. And I thought the same thing, Wabbit. It doesn't make sense to me, but everyone keeps saying, oh, the Darkrai fits, the Darkrai fits. Okay, whatever. But yeah, Lucario promo. This was actually in the Japanese set. They pulled it out to make it a promo. It's still awesome. Yeah, the legendary bird promos that came from the tins. And then these. So at some point, definitely not this year, especially with how my grading schedule is packed, sometime in the not too distant future, I will get each of these graded. And I did 3 of each. So I'll have a full 3 sets of the little subset image here, right? I know it seems kind of crazy, but I got all of these when they were like $2 or $3 or cheaper. So, you know, knowing when to buy is very important in this hobby. But yeah, I do have a complete subset of these graded, all with the CGC blue label. But I want to try and go for some pristines now with the updated label. So gonna have to get these graded at some point. But again, one of the better modern sets, probably one of the best sets from Sword and Shield, and definitely the strongest way to end one of those generations. All right, on to the next. So as I was talking about, one of those smaller little subsets or easier sets to obtain. There you go. Yeah, and that's one of those things, Brock, where like there are some cheaper art rares out there, and even SARs and SRs that you can pick up very easily, and you don't really have to break the bank. It just really comes down to what you're collecting, like this. So, good old Pokemon Go set. And I know this is, you know, a non-traditional, or let me rephrase that. This is more of a traditional binder compared to some of the more modern stuff. But I thought it went perfectly with this, and they didn't do a normal binder for this set. So we get Pokemon Go. Obviously, this was a huge craze. Josh, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I maybe. I don't know. Have you been in the streams before? You checked out the content before? You know how big the collection is. Yeah, Pokemon Go was a funny one, especially because it didn't come out when the game first came out. It came out like years after, and then it brought a resurgence. So, but yeah, Pokemon Go, pretty fun set here. I did the reverses on the back sides of these. They also implemented, outside of these really cool Radiants, which I like the Blastoise, the Charizard was nice. I think the one that they did later was a little bit of a better Radiant, but still pretty neat. But let me see if I have any here. Yes, I do. So they did what what was memed for the longest time. But you see a little Ditto logo down there? They actually did this. So this is a sticker. So you would peel this off, and Ditto is actually underneath this. It was a joke for the longest time because a lot of fake Pokemon cards did that, where they would just put a sticker of a really nice card over a garbage card. And then the Pokemon company was like, well, hey, yeah, let's actually do that. Thinking of myself all the tins. Okay, nice, nice. That's awesome, yeah. I think they did it with 3 different cards in this set. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. But yeah, they did it with only 3 or 4 cards, right? So they did it with Numel. They did it with Spinarak, and there's one other card in this set that got the Ditto. You can grade them that way also. Like, you can grade this card. It will be like... I haven't seen the label, to be honest. I know we grade them. I'd be curious to see what the label says, right? Do they put it as a Numel card, or is it put as Ditto? Or is it like a hybrid, like half and half? But yeah, again, pretty cool set. But again, this came out way after Pokemon Go had come out, so it kind of gave it a bit of a resurgence. And again, this was a smaller set. That's, less than 90 cards, including all the secret rares. One of my favorite Dragonite artworks of Modern. Yeah, it's got the anime style to it. This illustrator, I'm actually trying to work on collecting all of their artwork. Yeah, this is Kawayo. Yeah, again, it just adds anime style to all of his artwork, so big fan of that. But yeah, again, this was a really cool set. Nothing overly crazy. Oh, I think they did it with the Bidoof also. Yep. Yeah, so that was the third one, the Bidoof. Yeah, and again, this is another one of those sets where, like, trying to pull this Mewtwo took me forever. Again, just chasing Mewtwo's. That and the gold one, or I'm sorry, the rainbow one, took me forever to get. Really like the Dragonite in this set. Well, yeah, both Dragonites, actually. The V-Star and the V. Yeah, and then the gold Mewtwo there, a couple of the promos. This one was kind of sick. I had to put this in here. So I got this, and this is, let me look at this. Come on. When my buddy Alex from Dodge/Frag went over to Japan on a family trip, he brought me back a whole bunch of packs, and there's a live stream on the channel where him and I are just sitting down, just chit-chatting and bullshitting and opening up a lot of packs. But he also got me a couple mystery packs. If you guys know anything about Japanese mystery packs, right, all the different random stores that have them, they vary in degrees of crazy high-end stuff to just random stuff. I actually pulled this from one of those little mystery packs, so that was kind of neat. Thought I'd kind of perfect fit in here. And then obviously a bunch of these Mewtwo promos still sealed. But yeah, what do you guys think of Pokemon Go? Did you like it? Did you skip it? I think it's still one of those sets that's kind of slept on. I know there's not any, like, crazy, oh man, there's not a Charizard that's worth chasing, but it's still a fun set. And again, it's one of those sets that's probably a lot easier to complete compared to some of the other more modern sets. But good old Pokemon Go. All right, on to the next. One of my other favorite Sword and Shield sets. We have Brilliant Stars. This is another one that I'm glad I completed when I did, because these cards are creeping up in price. Okay, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, and that's one of those things, Maz, where, like, and when stuff's readily available, it makes it a lot more fun, right? And I know we're talking about in a market now where it's so tough to get anything without it being absolutely scalped immediately in front of you, and you get to watch a bunch of grown men and women act like absolute savages, but that's a story for another time. But and again, that's where, like, and I feel like I got back into collecting right at the right time. And then, I get to see how things were before. Yeah, this was an awesome set. The Raichu is featured in here. It's unfortunate they didn't do a secret rare Raichu in this set. I think that would have been the icing on the cake, especially because there's a lot of other really awesome cards in this set. Oh, wow. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Nugget, yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I know you have different interactions with them where you work, but yeah, it's crazy to see, and it's tough because like I would love to open up modern sets. You know what I mean? It would be one of those things where I'd love to go to the store, and even if it's a set I'm not super popular or super excited about, it'd still be nice to collect. Um, yeah, yeah, that would be a good set, Maz. I think that's definitely worth trying to get. So this is where this set gets awesome. And again, I wish they would have did a SAR Raichu, but we still got some great cards also, right? Like obviously, you guys have seen this card multiple times. And yes, I do have that sleeve. So this is that Charizard. I pulled two of these. Pulled them both from a case. This one I bought a sleeved blister case. Pulled one super early on, and then I pulled the other one towards the end. Graded it originally with the CGC blue label. I just recently regraded it just to try my luck. But yeah. Pete asks, do you plan on doing binders for specific Pokemon artists? Yes. Yeah, I will. So the one that I just mentioned, Kawaii, that's really the only one I want to do, right? Because all of his artwork is anime style. So I am working on that. I'm probably going to do a mini binder, just like the Amano binder. But yes, that's a great question. I'm already a step ahead of you. I'm working on it. And luckily, a lot of his cards are on the lower end, and there are some expensive ones. But yeah, so yeah, had this Charizard grade a few times. Decided, hey, it's going to just live the rest of its life in the binder. Have you ever had? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Web. It's so hit and miss, right? And if you can find stuff early, great. If not, it's tough. Yeah, do you think we'll buy doubles for his cards or pull them? I'll probably just buy a whole bunch of them because he has some really old artworks. I want to say some of his artwork started all the way back in the X and Y gen. But yes, if I do pull his cards, in modern sets, of course, I'm going to put him to the side or buy those secondary ones. But yeah, so other key artworks in this set. Sorry, I got distracted. This Arceus card, which looks absolutely insane. I still like the Arceus V promo that came with the Arceus V promo box, but this is still absolutely insane. A very beautiful card for sure. A lot of good trainers in this one as well. And then the other highlight to this, right outside of the Rainbow Charizard, which is one of the last ones, if not the last Rainbow Charizard. We got the legendary birds in their Galarian form, which was kind of neat. And then, of course, the trainer gallery, right? One of the better trainer galleries. You got Gary and the Evolutions here, or Blue. The Mimikyu is absolutely sick. I like the Sylveons. Yeah, and then the Umbreons as well. I'm still not the biggest fan of these gold cards, especially like the tracing around it, but it's grown on me. It's just one of those things where, again, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but I appreciate the artwork. So, yeah, and then this is also when they changed the energy card types and they had the V-Star token. So, again, it's little stuff like that like I can remember, hey, they changed energies with this set. So, yeah, pretty awesome set. Definitely glad I have this complete. It's going to live in either a tub or on my shelf for the rest of its life. All right. Ooh. Slide the next set of binders up. So this one should be quick. Good old Detective Pikachu. Anyone remember seeing the movie? I never saw the second one. Wait, was there? There was a second movie, right? I know I'm not crazy, or maybe I am crazy. or they're working on a second one, or it was a show maybe. I don't know. But anyway, Detective Pikachu got this cool little mini binder that fits with it perfectly. We've got the complete set in here. These are yeah, it's pretty neat, right? This is another one where okay, so there wasn't. Okay, gotcha. Maybe it was a show, because I know they did a promotional card. I see now. I have everyone. See, I just broke everyone's brain with that. I'm sorry. You know what it was? There was an anime that it was Detective Pikachu, right? Because I know there's a promo, right? It's the. Hold on. This is gonna. Oh no, that's what it was. Hold on. 1 second. I know I'm not crazy. I promise. Ah, that's what it was. Sorry. It was a game. This. Remember? This came out with one of the games. Yes, it was a video game. I know I had a sealed promo somewhere. But that's what it was. Good old Mandela effect. Yeah. No, it wasn't a movie. It was a game. Sorry. I just broke everyone's brain for a little bit. But I knew there was some kind of follow-up to it. But yes, this is definitely one you need for the collection for sure. All right. Let me get back to what we were doing. Sorry. Okay. So, that's insane. That's nuts. All right, so quickly, Detective Pikachu. Mixed reviews in the movies. I think overall it was a success. Nugget, this is another one I was going to show you. Do you have this Arcanine? I know it's the realistic Pokemon Go one, or not Pokemon Go, Detective Pikachu one. But even the Charizard, I don't know. There were some Pokemon that this worked, and then there's other ones kind of like the Magikarp where it was just weird. But yeah, I have the complete set here, Detective Pikachu. I don't have all the promos or anything like that. I kind of pieced this set together way after the fact. And then there's other just random cards in here also. I think there's like some McDonald's promos that I put in here. Might as well just show these off quickly. I don't remember. This is from 2022. Yeah, these have to be McDonald's promos. Or some kind of subset promo. Regardless. It was just something else I could fill this little binder with. But yeah, Detective Pikachu. Let me know what you think. Ooh, a Growlithe with Jenny would be kind of cool. All right. So, going back in time just a little bit because, this is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon this year. Well, let's talk about the 25th anniversary. And yes, we're still using this stupid logo for the 30th anniversary, unfortunately. But we have the 25th anniversary called Celebrations. I don't really know how they're naming the 30th anniversary or if they're just calling it 30th. I've seen some kind of miscommunication or misinterpretations of what the name of the set is actually going to be. But got a mini binder, got a regular binder. I'll save this for second, and you'll see why here in a minute. But this was another one of those. I'm glad I collected it when I did, and I put it in its actual binder. Some really cool artwork in this set, right? And again, the reimagine of this artwork was huge for me, even though this card forever, this was like a 30-cent card because you could pull it and it was easy. I have so many of these cards, it's insane. Yeah, I agree. I just don't like it. It's compared to like the 25th anniversary stamp on the Japanese side, it just looks so much better. They could have done it so many different ways. And then again, for them to reuse it for the 30th, I just think it's lazy at this point, but it's not bad. The flying and serving Pikachus were hilarious, especially the VMAXs. Yo, what's going on, Say? How we doing? Yeah, it's been a little bit. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. But yeah, the gold Mew, right? Especially because you get the shiny Mew, and then you got the Gold Star Greninja, which I think this one that I have is still sealed. Yes, still sealed. You got Professor Oak in here also. Nice little throwback. I like this one here too. He's literally out of the card doing his own signature. I thought that was kind of sick. But yeah. And then you went to the Classic Collection. I'm doing well. How are you, Saya? Hopefully all is well. Classic Collection, which again, at one point in time, these were very easy to get because, you know, this set was everywhere. And hopefully, and I say hopefully because we all know how things are now, hopefully the 30th anniversary set will be printed into the ground and it'll be very easy to get. I know it's wishful thinking, right? But, you know, for how massive this set has the potential to be, if it's anything comparable to what they gave us here, they have to just print a lot of it. I mean, I think that's the only way to do it right. But yeah, so then in here, this is where this binder gets a little bit crazy. So continuing on with the celebrations aspect. No, they were just saying like that would be cool if there was one. That would be a really neat combo for sure. So I continued on with this theme with the celebrations. These were the McDonald's promo from that year. And again, there's two different iterations. You get the confetti, hollow, and then just a standard one. But again, they pulled some classic artworks for these here. You got these were actually from General Mills, like cereals, when they did the promos at that time. And then this is where it gets a little crazy. And some people are like, why did you do this? Even my nephew asked me this. He said, why did you do this? I'll just be honest. I thought it'd be cool. And everything was cheap at that point in time. So you're about to see why I say that. I'll just continue on. All of these. And yes, I have so many behind these. And then here's some more. So whenever there's a random boom and you see a bunch of these graded from CGC, yeah, it came from me. A lot of these. But don't worry, it continues. I just thought it'd be cool, especially with this binder, right? I could have ended the binder and used only half of it, right? Like, I could have stopped. Let me go back. So after the McDonald's stuff, I could have stopped the binder right here. And I feel like that would have been a waste of the binder. Does that make sense? No, probably not. So here, I'm sorry. This would have been a waste because that's the whole set right here. That would have been a waste of a binder. So then adding this, okay, that kind of makes sense. Cool. But then I just kept going. And I 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 kept going. Yes, you can get all the laughs out now. I kept going. And kept going. Okay. Now, unfortunately, how? This is... I feel like it would have been a waste of the binder. Plus, all of these cards, even these, I got these cards when they were like $1 a piece. So, now, unfortunately, this next page is blank. Because this is where all the gold cards go. Even at the time, I couldn't afford to get 9 more gold cards. Yes, I have like endless spare sets now. But I get back to a full, complete classic collection. So I have 2 of these. It's 25 cards, so I'm not a scalper. Calm down, relax. Calm down. Maybe I'll grade one of these because I have 2 of them. It would be a cool little... And with bulk submissions, you can do 25 card minimums. So, and then the very last page of this, right? I thought this was cool, especially because, again, these cards were like $1, maybe $2 when I was getting all these. Now these cards are getting more and more expensive. So, and then I put this in here. It was the only little Blastoise sleeve that I had. But yeah, thought this was pretty cool to end off this. I used to have the Japanese version. I used to have the Japanese version of this card, but I ended up getting it graded. But yes, so that's not all. No, you guys are fine. You guys are fine. I know you're just joking around. It's all good. Trust me. If I was upset or irritated, I would just called you guys out. So you're fine. Everyone's fine. So mini binder. You probably ask, what did I put in this? Well, I had the mini binder, so why not, right? This may be a bit excessive at this point. I'll be completely fair and honest to say that. But again, with this set being printed through the ground, it was so easy to get all this stuff. It was all super cheap. Truthfully, I pulled about 85% of this stuff. So, especially these, right? It was 4 cards per pack, and you would see these cards over and over again. So, instead of me just throwing them in a tin and, you know, that's where they lived, I thought this made more sense. But the difference being here is I actually had 4 extra gold cards. So it actually kind of fits to close off this binder. Yes, I could take these and put them in the big binder. I just thought it made more sense here. So, yeah. And then, of course, you got the ETB guide in here as well. This is back when it was easy to get ETBs, and they're readily available, and they weren't overpriced. But yeah, very, very cool. Again, maybe a bit excessive with this little binder here, but so in theory, it's 4 complete sets in this little mini binder, and then just endless amount of stuff's in the big binder. Yeah. What do you guys think about that one? Okay. Still going back a little bit further into Sword and Shield. Next, we have Vivid Voltage. This was another awesome set. This set introduced art rares, or I'm sorry, amazing rares. I'm sorry, my apologies. Those things are 2 drastically different card styles. They introduced the amazing rares, which were pretty amazing in my opinion. You're going to see more of these in just a little bit, so just keep these in mind. But yeah, a very, very cool set. Some really awesome artwork here. This was a set where they had a Charizard not as a holo. You can only get this Charizard in reverse and non-holo, which I know a lot of people complained about that, but I thought it was pretty cool. You got the old Chonkachu here. See, and that's the thing, and that's the other reason why I wanted to do this, Maz, is like a little, and again, this isn't super old, right? This is from 2020. But it's just a little, you know, blast the past a little bit. Just, you know, just looking at some of the sets. Again, these binders sit on my shelf or they sit in a tub, you know, when I'm not doing this kind of stuff. So it's nice to go back and look at these, especially these amazing rares. I wish they would have done more amazing rares. It's kind of sad that they did so little. I think there's 9 in total from this set and a couple other sets. But yeah, the Jirachi was super cool. I really, really like that one. My favorite one was the Rayquaza, though. It was just literally just like that, the rainbow spray paint there. Again, it was just, they're awesome. And these cards are getting a little more expensive now, too. Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's definitely some sets I'm going to show you that are, you know, when I was a kid. So, yeah. Just to put that into perspective. Now we get into the tail end of this set, which again, some great full arts in here. Obviously the big card here is the Rainbow Chonkachu here. Later after the fact, still think I paid a fairly good price for it. It wasn't ridiculously when it was at its highest high. I caught it when it dipped a good bit, but it was one of the last cards I needed to complete this set. Some awesome cards in here, right? Pokemon Center Lady, Bay. You get Leon there. Just a lot of really great artwork. Yeah. Good old Vivid Voltage. And again, I think the saving grace for that set was the amazing rares and obviously Pikachu. I feel like if that set didn't have that, it would have been another one of those Passover sets. Now, this one's kind of neat because I was able to fit 2 sets in one binder. Good old Darkness Ablaze and Champion's Path. I know for some reason a lot of people slept on these sets, and they still do, even though there's Charizards, and these were like the first introduction to Charizard into Sword and Shield. People didn't like it. That's fine with me because I absolutely loved it. This is one of my favorite Charizard artworks. And then even in the shiny and the rainbow version of this, I just really love this artwork. I'm trying to get a lot of these in the shiny, this version, and the rainbow version graded. But yeah, I remember when this first came out, and yes, I had the better sleeves, not the garbage ETB style sleeves. These came from the Japanese Pokemon Center. But yeah, pretty cool looking Charizard there. I remember when they first showed that, everyone lost their damn mind. But again, it made sense. Like, it was a cool looking card. I really, really liked it. Even like the Mew, the Mimikyu, there's some very, very awesome artwork in this set. The Slowbro, oh, absolutely insane. I love how they did the Slowbro in this generation. We got the Scizor. Scizor hadn't been featured in sets in God knows how long before this. But you got this absolutely amazing Scizor and the VMAX there. Some more dragons, of course, good old Salamence. Some of the cooler looking trainers. Single gold card, yeah. Oh, it is kind of sad, Wabbit. But don't worry. I've got some for you. If you stick around long enough, you're going to see some. I really, really like the art on this Pokemon breeder. It's just, you know, the cartoony style to it. Everything's bright and vibrant. Really, really like that one. The Scizor full art is absolutely insane. And then you got the gold cards, right? You got Rillaboom and Colossal. The Salamence is nice as well. Yeah, again, I don't know why a lot of people didn't like Darkness Ablaze, but I did. Champion's Path, another set that a lot of people didn't like initially for whatever reason. I thought it was awesome. It was a much smaller set, right? There's only 73 cards. I think it's less than 80 with all the secrets. The Lucario was nice in this one. But again, it's just one of those where, I don't know, people were upset, and now it's stupid expensive and you can't find it anywhere. It's just, it's duality of this, of the community, right? They'll just shit on something for forever and then scalp it. Interesting. Anyway, this is where things start getting really, really awesome for this set. You know, they had to sprinkle this in there, which is what it is. You have some beautiful full arts here. And then, oh wait, I forgot. I forgot I got both of those graded. Sorry, what a cliffhanger there. Let me grab those real quick. Hold on one second. Honestly, I really forgot that I took those cards out of this binder and got them graded. So, there's the first one, which we'll just say goes right about there. And then there's the other one. It goes right about there. Okay, now that looks normal. Okay, great. Obviously, it made sense and it worked that I graded. I remember pulling this out of a... Oh my goodness. It was one of the V boxes for Champion's Path. Just randomly bought it on a day after work and pulled this. It was absolutely insane. Definitely glad that I graded it. And then we got the shiny version of the promo. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Definitely glad that I got these graded. Honestly, I kind of forgot. But just a little bit of a preview of once we do another graded card preview and we get to look at that collection. But yeah, Champion's Path, Darkness Ablaze, 2 more completed sets and sets that I really, really liked. You got the gold food tin here. But again, it wasn't anything too crazy, but I thought it worked, you know? All right, let me put this stuff back. Okay, that goes there. Okay. On to the next. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I know this isn't everyone's cup of tea, but it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. Plus, it's fun going through these binders after, you know, it's been a while. And trust me when I say this, it only gets better after this. And I make this joke because this is a set that I like, and I know it has, like, no fandom whatsoever. But it's a completed set for me, and I'll take it. Good old Rebel Clash, notoriously known as Rebel Trash. But, again, it's one of those sets where, you know, I thought there was some good artwork in here. Like, starting off really early with Scyther there. Looks absolutely sick. And Heracross, 2 of my favorite bug Pokemon. Gotcha, Maz. It's good to know. And that's one of those things where, like, you know, I get it. Not everyone can stay for an entire stream, but I appreciate it. I truly do. Whether you're here for 5 minutes or the entire length of the stream. We got a Growlithe. I think the Arcanine is right on the other side. Yep. Arcanine's right up there up top. We got the Cinderace V and V Max here. I love the Wingull and Pelipper here. Just some really great cards. And again, I think a lot of this, like we saw, another Growlithe. I think we saw this a lot, especially when we got to Scarlet and Violet and they did the second set. It was very similar, right? Like, Red Center, nice. It was a set that didn't have any crazy chases, right? It was just another set, and people didn't like it, which is fine. I love the Scyther or the Scizor in this as well. But again, there's just some cool cards in this. It makes sense why a lot of people weren't going after this. But, I mean, even like the Ninetales, just some beautiful artwork. The Cinderace, even the Toxtricity. Like, I liked a lot of these cards for sure. The Boss's Orders got Giovanni making a return. And then just even like looking at this page alone, like just all absolutely beautiful. And it's sad that like we don't have rainbows like this anymore. Why they did away with them is beyond me. It doesn't make sense. The hyper rares were so awesome for their time. Even when you go back to Sun and Moon era hyper rares. But for them to not really carry it on into Scarlet and Violet is weird to me. But yeah, and then I love this Galarian Berserker. It's a bit off-centered, but it's still really, really cool. I'm glad that they gave Meowth just a straight-up beard. It was awesome. And then like a Viking cap on top. But yeah, really cool set. Again, nothing too crazy, but it's another completed set for me, so I'll take it. Right? I really like that Meowth for sure. Okay, next, the base set of Sword and Shield. I remember when, and again, this was early days of me doing content on this channel. Very reminiscent of this set. Right, exactly. Very reminiscent of this set, even like the Delmise. I really like that. It's just a giant ship anchor, which is kind of cool, especially being a chief in the Navy now. Our entire existence is all about anchors. But I opened so much of this set, and you'll see, if you look on the channel, there's a playlist for Sword and Shield. And there's probably some other clips I didn't put in there, but this really was when I was getting back into it, right? The Raichu, absolutely beautiful. I should probably go back and sleeve this up. But yes, really, really fun set. The Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan were amazing. The Gengar, again, another popular card. Again, it was a great way to start off a brand new generation. So the Snorlax was really, really cool, especially the VMAX. I like this one a lot. Literally just reminds me of like King Kai's planet from Dragon Ball Z, but it's on a Snorlax. But the other cool thing I liked about this set, right, was, I mean, obviously all the full arts were beautiful. The trainers were great. The gold cards for me were what made this set. And the reason being is because there's only 6 gold cards in this set, right? The 2 dogs, the items. You want to take a guess, and I know some of you have been around a long time. You want to take a guess how many of these gold cards that I pulled in like the longevity of this set, or in the lifetime of this set, rather. I'll give you just a minute to try to guess. Throw some numbers out there. But yeah, it's insane how many gold cards I pulled from this set. I ended up selling a whole bundle of them to someone in Europe. They had checked out the content. They saw that, you know, I had eBay set up, and no. Well, yeah, that's a good place to start. At least one. So I won't drag this out. Total, out of these and more, I had pulled 16 gold cards. So I have the 6 here that I kept, and then I sold an entire bundle of 10 gold cards, all miscellaneous, to one person. But yeah, it was the most gold cards I ever pulled in any set from this point, before and well after. But it was just, I had great luck with this set, and that was another reason why I was just so interested in getting back into it, you know, because, hey, if I'm doing this well, you know, getting back into it, the pull rates have to be great. Man, if only that, yeah, it's insane, right? But I always like the artwork for the two dogs here. But yeah, really, really awesome set. And again, I think it was a good way to start off good old Sword and Shield. All right. All right, after this next binder, I'm going to take a very short break. I'm just going to stand up and stretch a little bit. But one of my favorite binders for obvious reasons. But Sword and Shield promo binder. And it's one of those things, Nugget, where maybe they just did it to draw attention to the set, but I had so much fun opening it, and again, you could pull everything in that set so easily. But here, and look at how thick this binder is. Sword and Shield promo binder. Now, I've shown this off a couple times before, but it's worth showing off because I have every single, yes, every single promo from this generation. This was a quest for sure, and I'm glad it's done, and I get to reminisce and look back on this because there's no way, and I'm 100% honest, there's no way I'd be able to try and complete this nowadays, so. Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? Yeah, we saw that issue when Fusion Strike came around and some of those other sets. Yeah, no, that's understandable. But yes, for me to try and complete this set now, well, I call it a set, even though it's just the promo collection, but some of these promos are just so expensive, and it was just right time, right place kind of thing for me. I really, really like this Pikachu. Very, very cool. It's one of the first promotional, I mean, obviously it's card number 20, but in terms of like promotional boxes, I know it's a bit off-center, but it's fine. I'm going to leave it in here. Ooh, that's where the fun part is, Maz. So I'm covered for sure. Don't worry about that. But the second part of that is the funniest part because obviously very few people out there know where I live, right? I don't like openly disclose all my information. But I'll just put it this way. I've been qualified and actively qualify on, let's see, 6 or 7 different weapon systems, and I'm extremely proficient. I do own my own firearms. I'm well trained, so that would be a fun day for me. Let's put it that way. And I don't want to say too much more because I don't know how stingy YouTube is with certain topics, but yeah, that would be hilarious for sure. Yeah, just one of those things where yeah, it would be interesting to see that happen. Anyway, a lot of the stamp promos in here were really, really nice. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hey, I mean, that would be a bit of a trek for you, but yeah, it's just one of those things where, you know, yes, I'm very protective of my stuff, and I, well, keep my stuff. Obviously, you can see I maintain my stuff very well. Another sealed Charizard promo still. This is the one that came with the ETB. Right? Yeah, that's absolutely hilarious. I love this Pikachu here. This front-facing, the Gengar, bottom left. 2 gold cards, which again, I'm not the biggest fan of this design, but these worked really well. You get the stamped Charizard from Vivid Voltage here. That one took me a while to get. We got the special delivery cards, which you're going to see the third one here in just a little bit. And yes, these are still in their original sealed cellophane pack there. These were, yeah, these were very tough to obtain, at least initially, right? Like these two, if you were actually lucky and the Pokemon Center website was working back then, not like it is now, these were easier to get. The third one, I'll gladly say I overpaid for the third one, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yes, these are very clean. I like these. It's the other ones I don't like, Nugget, the ones that have like the colored borders on it, where it kind of highlights it. I thought those were weird, but no. These were from one of the first Ultra Premium collections. Obviously, we saw maybe 2 Ultra Premium collections before, especially with the Hidden Fates set. Got some shinies in here, some more stamped cards. Yeah, this is when Blastoise, and look at how far. So what is this? Promo number 100 is 101 is when we finally got a Blastoise card here. And we got the Blastoise VMAX, one of my absolute favorites. I actually have a pen, and I can't show you the pen because I know YouTube would freak out about it. But I have a pen that someone had custom made for me. It's in the shape of a 50 caliber round. If you guys have any idea what that is, or a quick Google search. The top of it comes off, and then this artwork, Blastoise VMAX, is actually on the wrapping where you would hold your hand for the pen. Got it as a gift from a very close friend of mine, so I thought that was really awesome. But yeah, I wish I could show you because it's a pretty awesome pen, but I know YouTube would get upset about it, which is stupid. We got Marnie. We got some more stamped promos here from Evolving Skies. This is where the celebration stuff came in, right? You had like kind of flashbacks to some older cards, right? So you had the Dragapult Prime, you had Dark Sylveon, Lance's Charizard, Zacian level X. This is where the V Union cards came in, and I'll take these out because I know they didn't fit in the binder the right way, unfortunately. But yes, good old V Union cards. You guys remember these? Where these 4 would fit together, and then they had a jumbo that fit, but I don't think they planned on people putting them in a binder like I did. So got Pikachu with squish face there. But yeah, so when it looks in a binder, it looks all kind of disoriented because, you know, it's not really how it's supposed to be. Another Greninja. This is another sealed one. Yep, still factory sealed. Gold Star Greninja. I know there's other gold stars that are way more expensive than this, but yeah, all the Pikachus, right? And think, we're going to see more of these in just a little bit. So when the 30th anniversary comes out, if you guys aren't aware, oh, also, sorry, Delta Species, another throwback, light Pokemon, and then this is the Hydreigon C. That was kind of neat. But 30th anniversary. They're doing 30 Pikachus. That's absolutely correct, Hilario. You beat me to the punch. Yes. So there's going to be 30 Pikachus to chase with a 30th anniversary. Yes, Rayquaza V. Yep, this one right here. No, you're good. You're good. Again, 2 other gold cards. These ones are really, really cool. Still in the original wrap. We got the Pikachu V and the Pokeball. Got some evolutions here. We got this stamped from, I want to say that was one from the holiday calendars. I think we're getting closer to the other delivery. So again, and this is where this looks disoriented, right? Yes, that one's going to be fun. Yeah, the Pikachu with his face stuck in the stairs. So again, more V Unions. It's obviously disoriented. It looks all kind of wonky, but they did make jumbo cards of these, which look nice. Got the Dragonite here. Yeah, and then you got Zacian, all kinds of broken up. So this next page, I think, yes. So the other special delivery, this one was grossly overpriced. Even when I paid for it, it's even worse now. But it was one of those that you were supposed to be able to get from the Pokemon Center by just placing an order, and then people scalped it, and it went absolutely insane. I like the Scarlet and Violet promos much better. Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, to each their own, right? These are ones I like, and I'm not a big Evolutions person myself, but the V and V Maxes for all of these, and I do have sealed boxes of these still. My favorite one being this Jolteon. It just looks absolutely insane. Just a giant Jolteon. And you can see, in reference, there's someone's house right there. And you just have this giant lightning cat just floating above it. Pretty wild. Yeah, and again, a lot of Pikachus, right? I mean, it wouldn't be Pokemon promo without Pikachus. This is the other Arceus I was talking about. I really, really like this promo compared to the other one. This is from the Legends Arceus game. But yeah, this Arceus is really, really sick. I like that one a lot. Yeah, we definitely need some new evolutions. I want to see ghost type. I want to see fighting and a poison. That would be kind of cool. Some more V-Union cards here. Again, it's a little bit broken. We're getting into the Pokemon Go era. Yep, this was that Radiant Eevee that ended up looking really, really nice. No, see, that's the thing, Wabbit. We do need some more. And again, speaking from someone that's not a big fan of them, it's been so long that since we've had... I mean, the last one we got was Sylveon. Before that, it was Glaceon and Leafeon. Dragon would be sick for sure. I mean, any other type, right? Rock. There's just so many other kinds that they could do. I just don't know why they haven't. I love these Dragonites. This is another one of the Kawaii artworks. This, again, absolutely beautiful. Again, more Pokemon Go stuff here. Lost Origin. I don't like this Gengar as much. I know a lot of people do. I don't. I think they made his head way too big. Maybe it's just a weird angle, but not one of my favorite Gengar cards. All right. Starts getting even better as we go along here. The Charizard V, VMAX, and the V Star. I remember when they printed this through the roof, you could find these UPCs everywhere. And I was getting these for like $2 or $3 a piece at one point. Now they're back to being expensive again, which I know, big surprise, right? The issue with these three, right? So the V, the VMAX, and the V Star goes with that Mewtwo we saw earlier. The issue is, and you can see it with this one, they had really bad centering issues with these cards for some reason. And you would think for a Charizard, they would take their time and make sure it's absolutely pristine. But, you know, like this one, fairly clean, pretty good centering. That's probably why I kept it in the binder. But yes, these were notorious for having terrible centering. Yeah, and it's one of those things where we're like looking at it this way, everyone gets their own perspective, right? Well, and the other way to look at it, Maz, is like looking at it in the trading card perspective, because there's only 9. Well, yeah, there's only 8 or 9 types that they actually recognize, right? So it'd be tough for them to add new types unless they add new card, you know, element types, right? Because like you have grass, fire, water, electric, psychic, fighting, darkness, steel, and then fairy was around for a little bit, but that's gone now. So really you only have 8. Again, unless they just, you know, say, well, hey, it's this type, but it shares this type. They've done that before too. Another one of these Lucarios. This one is, nope, not factory sealed. This is one of the ones I just put in the binder. Again, Zashi and Zamazenta here. Now, this one, 2022 World Championship. This was also one of the reasons why I won't buy these cards anymore, no matter what promos come out in the future. I'm not buying these anymore. They immediately get scalped by the people that are at the show. Big surprise there. But as you can tell, this is not in English. I had to get one in a different language because they were all so grossly overpriced. Hey, it still fits the card, right? It's still the promo. It goes in the binder. Plus, it's a little more unique that I have one that's a foreign language. But the English version of this card, even days after this championship, was like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which is stupid. It's a promo they give out at the show, but people, like always, they scalp everything. So that makes this a little more unique as well. But the final pages here, yeah, absolutely. So you got the 2022 art contest, which I don't think they did one for 25 or 26, right? But yeah, you get the Arcanine there. Obviously, that came with the Bulbasaur and Greninja. And then the last 2 cards, which is absolutely insane. 306, 307. We end off with the literal god of Pokemon, Arceus. Kind of crazy to think that I almost maxed out a binder with promos. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that I have every single one of them, right? So what was your favorite promo from Sword and Shield era? let me know. I'm going to leave this page here just like this. I'm going to take a short break. It's currently 1:40. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Chat amongst yourselves. Let me know what you think of your favorite cards I've shown off so far, or your favorite sets. And I'll be back in just a minute. All right. And we're back. Yeah, I mean, I did show off that pretty cool Psyduck. Trust me, I mean, I like Psyduck and Golduck. I wish there were more promos for either. But yeah, all right. On to the next. Kind of crazy. Someone keeping count of how many binders I've showed off? I doubt it. All right. All right, so before we go a little bit further back, I'm going to show off 2 mini binders Kind of in the same era, right? Kind of going along, not necessarily with the exact timeline that we've been showing, but thank you, thank you. Espeon, yeah, definitely a top evolution for sure. All right, so 2 mini binders here. We're gonna start with this one. I like this little forest green color here. So these are all the art rares that I've wanted to collect from the Scarlet and Violet generation. This is almost complete. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. But yes, so I went through, obviously made a little binder for this and was collecting all of my favorite art rares from the Scarlet and Violet generation. Sudowoodo, this is still, even out of all the ones that have come out, this is one of my favorites and most slept on art rares. It's just so awesome that they're like, hey, put them off to the side. Even with like they kind of did it with the Slowpoke as well. Beautiful artwork, just put a little Pokemon right there. Obviously you get the 3 starters in the house. Everyone always asks if that's the same house or a different house. It's a great question. Wherever it is, there's a lot of Pidgeys in that neighborhood. So, but yeah, and again, these aren't every single art rare, right? Obviously, you can tell there's some that are missing. I just collected the ones that I thought were interesting to me, the ones I liked, like seeing a Happy Pinsir. I thought that was kind of neat. There's another Growlithe. It's actually, I didn't do this on purpose actually, but Growlithe and a whole bunch of water Pokemon around it. Well, Electric Bird, but water. Anyway, I like these ones here, right? The 3 cards that go together. This kind of fits on that page also. I like this one here too. Good old Skarmory. The Cerulege is kind of sick. I like the Magneton. The 4 Masks of Ogerpon. I actually broke up the order a little bit because obviously that's not the order it's supposed to go in, but to try and fit all these on one page, it made sense. Good old Goldino. Now these, obviously these are secret rares, but I put these in here because I liked the uniqueness of this art style, right? They put this colored border with these full art trainers. The only time they've done that, they never revisited that. It was just kind of a one and done with this, which I thought was pretty cool. I definitely like how these were. So that's why I put these in there. You got Articuno. This one makes me laugh, and I showed this to my nephew the other day. He kind of laughed about it too. Look at how massive Wailord is, right? And then you look at the little boat right there. Like, that is a humongous Pokemon. Imagine seeing that in the wild. Nope, I'm good. You get a little bit of chibi style artwork here with the Iono. I know that's one of Wabbit's favorites there, which kind of makes sense. That's in your logo. The Reshiram. I know we saw the Zekrom earlier. I have the pair. I'm going to get them graded. I love this Rapidash here. The Hydreigon. Or no, not sorry. The Hydrapple. Sorry. There you go. Look, there's another Psyduck. There we go. So these are pretty cool. So you get, oh my goodness, what is his name? Oh, Ethan, right? That's Ethan. Then you get Misty. You get Misty again. You get Arven. But yeah, pretty cool looking Psyduck. And I actually have 2 of them. I think I did it with the Lapras also. Yep, a couple of the Lapras as well. Just absolutely beautiful cards. It had to have more than one. So there we go. There's redemption art for Wabbit. You got to see, not only did you get to see Iono, but there you go. There's your Golduck. Wobbuffet, absolutely love it. These were all the actual like Team Rocket inspired cards that made sense from the Team Rocket set, so I had to have them here. I really like this this Bisharp. It's really cool. It's just like a bunch of them fighting, some of them in the background, just like kind of training. Siliglyph, one of my favorite psychic types. And that kind of worked out perfect, right? 2 from the black set, 2 from the white set. and closes off all the art rares from Scarlet and Violet. Now we get into this side here. All of the, there you go. Now we get all the Crystal EX full arts. Now, I did rearrange this, so there's going to be some gaps. I'll explain here in a second. Oh, okay, that light cooked off a little bit sooner than, so let me swap the lights real quick. Good thing I have backups. 1 second. I forgot I was using those lamps a lot after the last stream. If you guys saw how much stuff I opened up and went through on the last stream, which Final Fantasy Friday, even if you don't like Final Fantasy, come on by. It's a fun time. But yeah, had a whole bunch of stuff on my desk. So there we go. Back in action. All the lights look good. Okay. Crystal Full Art EXs. There we go. We have the Arcanine right there. Yes, these are absolutely underrated for sure. I love the Slow King there, but I'm glad I have... I mean, you guys can count the cards, right? I have like 99% of these, right? I have almost a complete set. The only gaps here are like the alt art, right? Which I have graded in Japanese. I just don't have another one for here. So I'm going to get another one and put it in here. If you see any of these gaps, right? So same thing I did here, right? The Garchomp and then the SAR. And then the gold card. So same thing here, right? Charizard. I need the Charizard that goes here. But even these two spots, right? Just the Charizard and then the Greninja that go here. That's like over $500 for just those two spots to be filled. Yeah. Maybe I'll trade to work towards that, or maybe they'll dip at some point. But yeah, just those two spots alone, just to put in perspective why those are still empty. We got the Ogre Pond masks, which I had to shift this off. I know it doesn't fit like the last ones, but I had to make the proper space. We do have a gold one this time, though. I like the Lapras and the Cinderace there. So this one works perfectly, right? The two SRs and then the two SARs right under it. That actually worked flawlessly. We got Flygon here, which looks absolutely amazing. And then this, which again, I'm not the biggest fan of Executor. But yeah, that SAR looks pretty sick. The Pikachu, obviously the SAR Pikachu is very expensive. But again, I have majority of these, right? So when that ends it, right? So here on this set, that was the last set that had featured these Crystal EX full arts and then these gold ones. So, I mean, again, I'm missing what, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. That's it. So I'm missing 4 of these Crystal Full Art EXs. So yeah, I definitely say I'm at like that 99% range. You know, somewhere in that higher tier of having almost all of these. I think this is an awesome collection. Will I ever get them graded at some point? Who knows? Maybe I'll just keep them in here and keep them this way. But then we go forward, right? And this is where we have like the superimposed trainers with all these. So the way I did this was all of these cards. And then I picked one SAR from the set that I really, really liked. So like this Zacian, which goes to show you how massive that dog is. Like, that's a big-ass dog. And I know Hop is just a kid, but just, yeah. So anyway, all the trainers, one SAR, both golds. I did that for every one of these going forward, right? So again, all the trainers and their Pokemon, the SAR, which I really love this one. Not only just art style, but like he's got 3 of his Pokemon there. He's ready to go. 2 golds. All the trainers. 2 of them being Giovanni, which is hilarious. Well, I'm sorry. 3 of them being Giovanni. SAR. So, yep, I had to get another one. Absolutely beautiful card there. And then the 2 golds to wrap that up. And then I just put these last 2 on the end. So we get Steven and Marnie there. Just because they were promos. We kind of filled that last 2 spots there. I think that was kind of fitting. But, yes. Awesome collection. Let me know what you think about that one. All right, next mini binder. after this, we don't go super vintage, but after this binder here, we go back to Sun and Moon era. So just a little bit of a heads up. So, remember I was talking about those amazing rares? Well, I got these when they were less than $1. And because I really liked them. And I think they were very slept on, and they still are. But I got 4 of each. So you have the 6 original, and then there's 3 additional. So you get the Kyogre, the Reshiram, and the Yveltal. And then I got them in Japanese. These were a bit tougher and a bit more expensive to get. But I'm glad that I did, because I don't want to buy these now in Japanese. I'll just put it that way. All 9 of them. Wow, the playlist actually ended. This one is in Chinese. So, man, we've been streaming that long? My goodness. That's crazy. I didn't even realize it had been going that long. Wow. I guess time flies when you're just rambling. But yes, and then the only one that I have here, this is a Chinese iteration of Rayquaza. No, I'm not going to get all the Chinese ones. The Japanese ones were tough enough to try and track down. But it's nice to have all these, right? And again, cards that I thought really, really cool. You know, I just kind of got them all at the right time. And yeah, now they're part of the collection. So now we're covering down on some of the character rares. These are all from Sword and Shield era. Some of these were from a few different sets, right? Like VMAX Climax, V-Star Universe, and then just the random sets in between. So these the first bit of these are all from VMAX Climax. I love the Charizard in there with Leon, the Evolutions, the Zekrom. I mean, just a lot of amazing artwork here. Then we start to get into the ones that come from other sets. And again, try to get all of them. Or at least the ones that I thought were my favorites. Good old Sleeping Pikachu there. The Gengar. The Hisuian Arcanine. Good old Snorlax there, which that's going to look like me after the stream. I'm getting hungry again. But yeah, just a lot of amazing character rares here. Really, really like this one too, because again, he's just, I mean, Smeargle uses his paintbrush as a tail, and it just shows like the chaotic nature and the artwork there. So very, very cool. All right, so then from here, this is where the V-Star Universe cards come in, which you guys just saw all of these with Crown Zenith. Love that Lapras. Lapras is absolutely amazing. I like the Toxtricity here, because it's got both iterations. You have Obstagoon and Rillaboom there. Literally the whole gang is playing. The Keldeo is nice too. I love the Aurora Borealis in the background. The Mew, I remember, and shout out to Rocket City Collectors, I remember selling him a bunch of the English and Japanese ones, stupid cheap, because he's a fan, right? He collects Mews. They are so expensive now, but just like everything else, right? Like, no one could have predicted it to be this crazy. But I'm glad I have what I have for sure. And trust me, I do not take that for granted. And then to wrap off this binder, just got a couple random Chinese cards that I have in here, a couple Evolutions. I'll probably end up moving these into my duplicates binder. This was just the spot that I had for them at the time. But yeah. All right. On to the next. One of my favorite sets of all time. And this is one of the few master sets that I have. And of all sets, the master set, this was definitely the one to do it with. Good old Hidden Fates. This is the best Fates set that they've ever put out, compared to Paldean Fates, and what was the other one? So Hidden Fates, Paldean Fates. What's the other one? Why am I drawing a blank? Hold on. I know I have the binder for it. Hold on. Oh, Shining Fates. Yeah. Hidden Fates was definitely the best. And this is the set that truly, thank you. This was the set that got me back into collecting. November of 2019, a buddy of mine, actually one of my best friends, hit me up and said, hey man, this latest Pokemon set is absolutely insane. You got to get back into collecting, and you know, while you're collecting, make some content. So November of 2019, I actually got back into collecting. I didn't start making content until March of 2020, but in those 3 or 4 months, I was just going full tilt on this set here. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, this is hands down my favorite set. So you'll see, this is a master set, and I'll explain in a second. So every single card. Oh, there's another cool Psyduck. There we go. We got Raichu there. I like this Ekans here because Articuno's flying in the background. You get Arbok with Jesse right there. Just again, some absolutely iconic cards here. And again, from 2019, it's not that old, but there are just some absolute gems in this set for sure. Hey, what's going on, Ben? How we doing? Thanks for coming by. Yeah, so you got Bill, Brock, you got Lieutenant Surge in this set, finally, you know what I mean? Like Jesse and James, so Missy's determination, like just very, very awesome. Like this was kind of a throwback. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm just kind of going through all the binders. Well, not all of them, but majority of my binders here today. If you're just hopping in, don't worry. I will upload the stream shortly after it ends, so you'll be able to watch this after the fact. That is a great question. So again, I've been at this since March of 2020. That's how long the channel's been running. You've definitely been around for a bit. Same thing with Wabbit. Same thing with, excuse me, with Nugget. You know, there's a few that have been around a very long time, and it's appreciated. But yeah, Ben, thanks for coming by. Hopefully you enjoy this and all the other content. I used to do pre-recorded content. There's YouTube Shorts. There's CGC submission previews and recaps. So there's stuff for everything. Yep, absolutely. Yep. Nugget's definitely been around from the start for sure. Very few people were there, even on that first week. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Yeah, and again, that's the other thing too. A lot of name changes, profile picture changes for sure. Okay. So, and then, I mean, it doesn't get much better than this, right? You get Giovanni and you get Jesse and James. I remember when this card spiked literally out of nowhere. This was like a $2 or $3 card for years at the most. Then it's like, oh, hey, that's a $100 card now. Like literally overnight. It was insane. The legendary birds, iconic. This is the next part of it, right? This is where we get into the master set. So having a master set is having every single card from the regular set, like you see here, all 68 cards, 69 including the secret rare. And then you get them again in all the, yeah, I really like the Giovanni for sure, especially out of the more recent full art Giovannis. But now to get in a master set, you get all the reverse holos as well. So I went overboard and filled every spot. But there's Psyduck again. Yes, even these cards, right? Like the Vaporeon is normally a holo. I have the reverse. So that's what it means by having a master set. And trust me, I took this to the full extent of master set, and you'll see here in just a second. All the trainers, good old LT Surge there. So that's the master set part. Now we get into the shiny vault, which again, I think this is the better shiny vault out of any of the ones they've done so far. Out of, you know, Shining Fates and Paldean Fates, this one's so much better. Paldean Fates didn't even call them shiny vault. They just put it into the set because they were like, hey, we're not doing this, which whatever. Charmander, Charmeleon, Scyther, a lot of OGs in this shiny set here. I love the Quagsire there. Lucario and Rockruff. You get Zora. The Sudowoodo is kind of sick. I love the shinies that are drastically different, right? Like, I feel like they did two of my three favorites pretty dirty when they did shinies. The shiny Blastoise is barely a different color blue. Shiny Raichu is barely a different color. And then they went completely different opposite direction with shiny Dragonite, which is that's one of my favorite shinies of all time. But even Eevee, it's like, oh hey, now Eevee's just gray. Okay. But then you have stuff like this where Ralts looks a little bit different. Magneton looks definitely different. You know, Altaria is normally blue. It's gold here. So I like the ones that were drastically different. Type Null, and then this. I mean, I could just end the stream here and just leave this as my background for the rest of the time. I mean, like, you can't beat this set of shiny full RGXs. I pulled 2 of these Charizards, by the way. I ended up selling one off back on the eBay store. Luckily, I kept the one that was better. Yeah, just this page alone. I mean, this is one of my favorite sets for a reason. But if I could just like plaster this and leave this binder open on a shelf, I would look at this all day long. I mean, just all the different varying shinies, right? And just some iconic shinies. And this isn't even all of them. There's more on the next page. But the Charizard, the Ho-Oh, Reshiram, Electrode, Espeon, and Mewtwo. Like, and again, some of them, like Articuno, slightly different. Not too drastic. Lucario, very, very different. Umbreon, slightly different. The Darkrai, slightly different. The Scizor, absolutely insane. Love that one. But again, like looking at these, what? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 34, 35 of these shiny Pokemon. I don't think any of the other shinies compared to these. Even the other shiny Charizard, which, again, I love the shiny Charizard VMAX. It's probably my second favorite. This one still takes the cake, for sure. It's tough to beat that Charizard. Now, let me show you. There is... Let me see. Hold on. I thought there was... So I know a lot of people, when they were opening this set, because if you look at this Charizard, right, like you look for the tail first, and then that kind of the toenail, where there's a lot of cards that had like the toe in that same exact spot. So you're like, oh, I pulled the Charizard like here. So it was kind of like people panic and we're like, oh, is that it? But I remember pulling both of them. I think I have both of them on in opening somewhere on my channel, in the depths of the channel. Yeah, absolutely insane. But then still, they carried on with great trainers and item cards. Again, not the biggest fan of these gold cards, but I mean, the Cynthia's sick. The Guzma is awesome. Now, to say full master set, meaning not only what I showed you before, all the regular cards, reverses, every other thing in between. I also have every single promo for Hidden Fates as well. So you get all the shinies here, which this Rayquaza is sick. One of the best shinies out there. You get Lunala and Solgaleo. All the energies. Hidden Fates, ETB promo, one of the best promos they ever made. I know I'm really, I'm really hyping up Hidden Fates, but it's that good of a set. Still sealed. This card is through the roof now. Have multiple copies of this. And then these pages here. This isn't even all of them, but this kind of gives you a rough idea. These are from the tins, well, they weren't mini tins, but from the tins. So, yeah, we'll just go through and you guys can see how many tins I opened up in that time frame and forward. And then these were from the pin collection, so you get the Mewtwo and the Mew. Obviously, I didn't open as many as those, but yeah, love me some Hidden Fates. One of my favorite sets of all time. And I say one of because it's not my top set, even though this set is absolutely amazing. But I mean, again, like you can't beat this. Like, find me a shiny set that's better, and I'll call you a liar. And again, everyone has. I know it seems pretty direct. Everyone has their own preferences, right? But for someone like me and what I collect in the generation I grew up in, this is the best. So good old Hidden Fates Master Set. Yeah, definitely one of the most expensive parts of my collection in terms of like binder and loose cards. But absolutely beautiful. My favorite. All right. Next. Still in the Sun and Moon era, and two of my other favorite sets. Man, I remember the day that I finally completed this binder. Oh, okay, that's not good. Starting off with Dragon Majesty. And see, this is what happens when you don't sleeve up stuff. Just kind of slides out of there. So, gonna have to do some shifting here. So Dragon Majesty and Shining Legends. Remember how I was talking about earlier about two smaller sets? Well, at least they were at the time, that were easier to complete. This set only has like 76, 77 cards, maybe 78. Nice. That's awesome. Hell yeah, that's awesome, Maz. I appreciate that. It's kind of crazy how much time has passed, you know. We hit 6 years this year, and it's... I never thought we'd get this far. And obviously, I mean, you and Nugget and Wabbit all know this. Like, I never did this to try and get famous. I did it because I was going to be opening up stuff anyway. And, yeah, it's been very, very fun. But, yeah, Dragon Majesty, very awesome set, especially because they took a lot of artwork from, like, the Neo generation and revamped it. So you get the Totodile Evolution line. Absolutely insane. Yes, this set was... I need to go back in. I'm not going to do it now because it's going to eat up time, but I need to go back and sleeve all these cards. Even the non-holos, I will go back and sleeve them because I don't want what just happened to happen where the cards are just sliding out. That Lapras is pretty sick. The Dragonite, one of my favorites. Even the sleeves are kind of sick. Right. I get that. Trust me, there's a lot of content creators that I watch too that I'm like, man, more power to you. It's awesome to see you do these things, but people just dropping like 50, 60 grand on stuff. Just like, oh, here you go. Or they're at a card show like, oh, I'll buy your whole booth. Like, yeah, that's insane. Anyway, very dragon heavy set here. We got Lance, who's kind of like the godfather of dragons. Blaine's in here as well. The Dragon Queen is in here as well. Good old Zinna. But yes, this page again, another iconic page. The last card I need to complete this set was the Ultra Necrozma. So this set came out in 2018. Am I reading that right? Yeah, 2018. I got this card years and years after. This took me forever to get this card because it's super rare and it was very expensive. I finally found one in good condition, and that closed off the set. The other thing that's special about this, which it's only special to me, right? Because no one else is going to understand, okay, cool, it's a gold dragon, dragon talon. I had one of these cards before. I sold it off to someone on Instagram because I was just doing a claim sale, pulling some cards, trying to get some money together. Years later, I'd probably say 4 to 5 years later, that person was doing a claim sale. They had this exact card. And I know it seems kind of crazy. How did you know? Because they kept it in this sleeve, right? They kept it just like how I gave it to them. And I knew it because you see a little dimple right there. Right there on this edge right there. I know this seems kind of wild, but between that and then this border here, there's a print line on this border. That's how I knew. I literally bought back my card. There's a little print line right here on the very bottom. Yeah, I want to for sure. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that like I sold it off in all the thousands and thousands of cards out in the ether, and then I got my own card back. So it's pretty awesome. But again, only I would know that story, right? That's why I keep stuff in binders. Love the Dragonite here. Blaine looks pretty sick as well. Now, we get into one of my other very favorite sets. Good old Shining Legends. Man, you guys look on the channel. The Shining Legends Sunday used to be a thing. God, I truly miss that. Shining Legends Sundays was so much fun. I opened this set ad nauseum. Endless amount of packs, hundreds and hundreds of packs to eventually complete this set. But it was such a fun set. So many great cards in here. Yeah, Shining Legends was amazing. All the different Shining Pokemon in here. But yeah, the Mew, the Jirachi. I pulled so many Mew. This is another one of those, and you can look at the videos. I pulled so many Mewtwo's in this set. Especially this one, the Full Art Mewtwo. For the longest time, I love the Arceus and the Rayquaza too. For the longest time, the thing that took me forever to get was the hyper rare version of this card, which you'll see on the next page. This card here was the last card that I had to get to complete the set. Not this, not the Mewtube, which I pulled this, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. And yes, I had it in a grading sleeve because I was going to grade at one point. I pulled this card 5 or 6 times. I never pulled this Mewtwo. I ended up buying it because someone had it on a great sale. And I was like, all right, now's the time. I finally bought it to complete the set. But the Raichu, again, another absolutely amazing Raichu. I love the texture and the design on this one. I know, but that's the thing. Like, that's been the bane of my existence in all of my collecting, right? Any set that has a Chase Mewtwo, just mark me off. Like, I'm not going to pull it. You've seen how much I've opened up the Team Rocket sets. Yeah, just my luck. But anyway, Holos, Energies, and then the promos. One of my favorite promos, still factory sealed. We got the Shining Ho here. You got Shining Celebi, Shining Lugia. I remember opening up the Super Premium collection for this, where all these cards came from. God, that thing was so sick. The Zoroark, Mewtwo, the Darkrai GX box. I remember opening up so many of those. The pin collection boxes for these two. I mean, yeah. Shining Legends, definitely one of my favorite sets. And to put that and Dragon Majesty, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. What's going on, Roxanne? How we doing? But yeah, to have both of these sets in one binder, I thought it was just absolutely perfect. Two of my favorite Sun and Moon sets. And again, they just perfectly fit in this binder. So, Dragon Majesty and Shining Legends. Glad to have both of those complete. All right. Just a few more, which is kind of crazy, but yes, we're almost done. Next, 2 more sets that very iconic in both their own rights. We're in the XY generation now. Evolutions and Generations. Both of these in the same binder. It's absolutely insane, but yeah, this was fun. I remember when Evolutions came out, 2016. Nobody, and I say nobody, gave 2 shits about this set. They're like, oh, it's the base set reprint. It's all garbage, blah, blah, blah. Nobody wanted this set. So they printed to the ground. You know what I mean? Like, they had the base set Charizard. Oh, nice. Roxanne, what sets are you working on for those 2 binders? They even had the base set Charizard, right? They had the redesigned Charizard EX, the Mega Charizard EX here. Nobody wanted Evolutions. So they printed to the ground. And then printed to the ground. And then even further. And then we got my boy Blastoise here with the EX and the Mega EX. It's crazy that no one wanted this. And then they stopped printing it. And they stopped putting it in tins. And the Pokeball tins. And this and that. And then it skyrocketed like everyone should have seen, because why not, right? You give it to people and they don't want it. So you're like, okay, we're done. And good luck trying to find Evolutions packs now for under $30. It's wild. It's wild. Yeah, the breaks. Yeah, remember the old break cards? These were another one. People absolutely hated this. No one liked this idea. I thought it was pretty neat as a collector. But yeah, nobody liked the break cards. But again, perfect timing for me. I collected when I could. Good old base set Raichu reprint here. We got the reverse and the regular. But yes, this was an absolutely amazing set. I think I just have the regular. Yeah, I do have the cracked glass Pikachu as well somewhere. But yeah, the other thing that was cool, they took the Nidoking here, made it Psychic type when I think originally it was Grass type. But again, this was originally a promo. Lugia break, nice, nice. Destined Rivals, the other binders mix. Okay, gotcha. How's the Destined Rivals binder going? The start of the stream, unfortunately you missed it, but I'm gonna upload this in a little bit. I showed off my Glory to Team Rocket binder, so the Japanese equivalent to that set. Yeah, Destined Rivals and you know, kind of just a mixed binder. Yeah, I've got a couple of those random mixed binders myself. But yeah, again, you would think for how, you know, hey, this is pretty much like a base set reprint, all kinds of great stuff, and they sprinkle in new stuff. People would like it. people hated this set for some reason. And the secret rares in this set, wait till we get to that. That was another reason people didn't like this. All the hollow energies. So, blank this for a second. These were your secret rares, which, I mean, if they were rare, they would be pretty cool. These were more common than some of the commons in the set. And that's why a lot of people didn't like this. Missing petrol. Okay, gotcha. That's not bad. I mean, that's pretty awesome if that's all you're missing. That's huge. But these cards were beautiful. All these mega EXs, right? You got the full art, right? The Charizard. Obviously, Blastoise there. I really liked the Mewtwo, the Pidgeot, and of course this Dragonite, which I kept this one in the binder because this thing is way off center. I remember pulling this one, and I'm like, yep, I'm holding on to that. Look at how thin that border is. Even more defined and easier to see on this side, but yeah. And of course, you get Brock and Misty there. I love this set. Evolutions was awesome. Now it's just grossly overpriced. But I'm glad I completed when I did. Same thing with this set. Good old Generations. This was the 20th anniversary set. Kind of crazy we're going back that far. 20th anniversary set. This was an absolutely beautiful set. Some great Pokemon in there. 2 more Blastoise here. That one looks familiar, huh? The Charizards, right? I love the Leafeon on this. Kind of has like more like they pulled it right from the show. The full art Articuno is sick. I love this Raichu, one of my favorite Raichus. But yeah, so you get Articuno here. The Zapdos is pretty sick also. Like 2 of the only full arts that you get. It's funny, the last card I needed to complete this set was this Gengar. Took me forever to get this for some reason, but yeah, it's not even anything too crazy, but it's just the last card I needed. This was a redesign of the original Slowpoke artwork, so that was kind of sick. But yeah, Generations was another awesome set. Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan. All the different energies. I love these energy types. And then we get into the Radiant Collection, which, if you don't know what the Radiant Collection is, this was a subset within this set. You had the storyboard Charmander here, which was awesome. But you get all these like chibi style, like, you know, you got the little bows and flowers and hearts all over all these. The Japanese equivalent to this set was super rare. Like, they printed very little. And now it's god tier expensive. You got the Raichu here. In my mix binder, I have 2 ancient. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I've got a few of the old Ancient Mew movie promos around. And those were other cards that were like, they were so, I mean, they were everywhere. You still find them everywhere, but now they're expensive for whatever reason. But yeah, this was a very cute little subset here. Even like the Jirachi. Again, they got the little pattern on the card here. Yeah, all kinds of really awesome cards here. And then this, right? This is just... Even these 5 cards here are probably more expensive now than what I paid opening and working on this set. I mean, this Flareon is absolutely insane, even though it's got all 3 of the evolutions there. You got the Pikachu, which is one of my favorites. You get just like a whole bundle of these Pikachus here. Again, in the Generation sleeves. But see, even this one, it's the 20th anniversary and it has that Pikachu logo, but it's made up of the Pokemon. Like, I thought that was sick. And Roxanne, thank you for the sub. I just saw that come through as the notification. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But yeah, just again, absolutely insane sets here. Then just got some random loose stuff here in the back. But yeah, Generations and Evolutions, 2 very, very awesome sets here. The Radiant Collection plus everything else in the Generation set. And then, of course, pretty much the base set reprint with, you know, modern cards in here for Evolutions. Yeah, very, very fun. Okay, on to the next. All right, now we're taking a pretty big jump in time here. Do I want to show... let me do this. Hold on. Yeah, I'll show... Yeah, okay. So, I got this big old binder. How many people have actually seen this binder before? Good old Southern Islands collection. And I also have the sleeves for the Japanese version of that set. Now, you're probably looking at this wondering, well, where are the cards? I'm actually getting these graded. And don't worry, I still have a sealed set of the Japanese Southern Islands. But I took the cards right from this. I kept these, right? Because, again, they're mine. I took these, put them right into grading sleeves, and they're in the queue to get graded. So keep an eye out for that. I am dropping that submission off soon. But Southern Islands set, very, very awesome. The English set came with this binder and then all the cards in it. You also got the postcards and stuff like that. But it also came with this little insert. And then this is the Southern Islands set. Cool thing about this insert, if you look at this quickly, not only does it have the Southern Island checklist, it's got Neo Genesis and Neo Discovery in here as well. Yeah, went way back in time for sure. This was cool. It's an 18 card little subset. If you bought it in the bundle, right, it came with this, and then all these cards were packed in. Yeah, Southern Islands. Again, all these arts go together. You can see they're all kind of paired together. All 18 cards complete. Now, yes, there's some other stragglers here because I had some duplicates. But I also have a English set of this being graded as well. So, you know, I might as well just show you real quick. So, because it's literally sitting right next to me. That's why I was thinking about it. So, here we go. Southern Islands, English and Japanese. That's when I was supposed to submit these, by the way. Obviously, I'm a little bit behind schedule, so I do apologize. But, that's wild. Yeah, a little bit behind schedule with these, but let me show you real quick. And again, full set, ready to get graded, English. Will we pull a 10 in any of these? I truly hope so. I don't know, though. Maybe better luck in the Japanese set, but if we get anything like 7 or higher, we definitely lucked out. So, all right. So that's the English side, and then again the Japanese side were literally pulled from those sleeves, immediately put into these. So again, all these cards just absolutely beautiful. Yeah, Wabbit, it's one of those things where, like, number one, I appreciate that, but two, I wanted to keep my own schedule, but, you know, even with, you know, it taking a little bit longer to get stuff back from CGC lately, it's one of the other reasons why I haven't pushed as much to get this stuff in. But I wanted to submit these because it is summertime, but trust me, I will have these submitted now. Will they be back by the end of summer? Who knows? Probably not, but at least I want to have them dropped off so I have a summer CGC submission. All right. But yeah, so the rest of this, right, because it kind of goes along with, remember I talked about Neo Genesis, Neo Discovery? Well, I have some of those cards in here as well. Vintage 9 slab, and I have 9.5. Wow, very nice. That's awesome, Roxanne. Do you have a lot of graded cards or just a few? Yeah, you're telling me, yeah, between Florida and Texas, we know all about summer. Fun fact, Florida only has 2 seasons. We have summer and hurricane. There's literally nothing else that exists. But anyway, some Neo Discovery cards in here and Neo Genesis. There's some Neo Revelation in here, I think, as well. Not any of the crazy high-end cards, but yeah. Okay, just 3 graded? Okay, that's awesome. Are you planning on adding more, or are you happy with the ones that you have? I always like to ask because I have probably too many graded cards, so that's why I'm curious. Yeah, Maz, where are you at? I'm assuming over in the UK, right? Or at least somewhere Europe-esque? But yeah, again, just some more Neo cards, right? Just a little flashback that kind of goes with the binder. But yeah, can't wait to get those other cards back. Norway, God. Oh yeah, you said that earlier. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. You did mention that, sorry. Getting a 4th, nice. That's exciting. I'm excited to see what you end up getting. I do have a Discord set up, Roxanne, so if you want to follow on Discord, and whenever that comes in, there is a collection showcase tab. You can definitely drop that in there. I think that'd be kind of neat for us to see. Oh, for sure. Okay. Now we're going to get into this one, and then we're going to get into some of the other binders. Oh, man. Look at this binder. This is childhood binder here. Obviously, I've swapped out some of the cards and put some other exciting things here. But oh yeah. Yeah, with World Cup going on, it's absolutely insane. Unfortunately, you know, US, Canada, and Mexico all got knocked, but you know, North America's hosting, and it's been going great. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do for 30th anniversary, I'm just going to focus on the Japanese side until I see how much the English side is printed. If they print the English set through the roof, then yeah, I was definitely going to buy a whole bunch, but I think I might just stick to the Japanese set and go from there. Florida transplant living in Texas. Yeah, you get to experience all the worst of it. To be honest, I don't really know, Maz. I don't really watch a lot of soccer. I know my brothers do. But let's get into this. We only have a few more binders to go through, and we're well over 2 hours into the stream. So, again, childhood binder. Yes, the latch still works, which I'm excited about. Now, yes. Should I move cards out of this binder? Absolutely. Especially with the very first promo being in here. And I may eventually, but it's just cool to open this up. And again, this is the same binder I had when I was a kid. All the WB movie promos from the first Pokemon movie. You get the Dragonite as well. You get the Game Boy Mewtwo, or Meowth, sorry. You get this really cool looking Eevee. All these Wizards of the Coast promos, just very, very iconic. Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially looking at this binder. We got the Mewtwo here. There's another Psyduck for you. There you go. Here's a super old school. It doesn't get much older than this Psyduck here. And I got 2 of them. I kept this one up front because it's way off centered. This one's a little bit better shape. But yeah, really, really cool looking Psyduck there. We get Rocket's Meowth. Now this page here. This one's a good one for sure. What did I say? Yeah, I said Psyduck, right? Did I not say Psyduck? Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's in pretty good shape for sure. No, absolutely not. No. Grading cards was... I mean, it was a thing, but nowhere near was now. And no one was grading trading cards. It was all sports. Anyone that was grading, like Beckett, PSA, some of the other companies, it was all sports. No one graded any trading cards. But this page here, very, very cool. You get the legendary birds and the birthday Pikachu. And yes, when we were kids, people would actually write their names in there. Obviously, I never did. But that was a very common thing. Get Surfing Pikachu there. The first Machop. Ooh, great question. We're about to find out here in just a second, Saya. I want to say yes. I want to say yes. Pokemon Tower, Magmar, Scyther. Hey, easy. Relax. And if you see in the very back, here's my very first Ancient Mew. And yes, I have plenty more of these, but this is the one from the personal collection. Yeah, pretty crazy. All this time has passed, still have this card. But yeah, I do want to get some more of these WotC promos and fill this up, but oh, gotcha. Yeah. No, yeah, you're exactly. Yeah, he was very confused for sure. Oh man, it's unfortunate. I know people that have full boxes of those Mew promos because they worked at the movie theater. Same thing with a buddy of mine has a bunch of the Meryl promos. If you guys remember those, the WotC Meryl promo. My buddy has a whole box of them. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely saw the first Pokemon movie in theaters. Yeah, I mean, that's where I got most of those cards from. I probably saw it multiple times. All right, on to the next. Ugh. Now, before I forget, let me look at this real quick. Okay. We're getting back into real OG vintage here. So, get to bring the Team Rocket binder back into the equation. Put that up here. Well, actually, I'll probably start with that one. We got this binder here, which, a little bit of preview there. It goes back as her. Easy, come on. And then we got another vintage binder here. So, I'm going to start off with the Team Rocket binder. I think, yeah, I want to do that. And then we'll do the red binder, and then we'll end off with the Mewtwo binder. All right, so here we go. So I heard you like vintage Pokemon. Well, yeah, so do I. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things where I'm very glad to have had the jobs and the opportunities I've had as an adult, and to be able to kind of get back into this hobby and recollect a lot. So, and then again, timing is everything, right? Showing off my favorite set, you are absolutely right, Wabbit. Japanese Team Rocket, hands down my #1 set of all time. There is no set that has come out that is better than this, and there's not going to be a set that comes out better than this unless they redo this set. And I'm just gonna, that's the hill I'll die on. This is my favorite set of all time, especially with the Japanese card design and the artwork. You got a little bit of these slightly warped, but no creases or bends in it. This is just from the card stock. So keeping it in here keeps everything nice and organized. So there we go. Here we go. Wabbit, there you go. Psyduck and the dark gold duck there. There we go. Finally getting some recognition. But again, every card in this set, and let me go back. We're going to slow roll this one. Every card in this set was awesome. We get the banned Grimer card. If you know why it's banned, I mean, it should be very obvious. If you don't know, look it up. You're going to see a bunch of banned cards in these next couple binders, by the way. All the dark Pokemon. It's just, this was, to me, a flawless set. And this came out in 1997. Very few of my cards from when I was a kid at that time survived and made it to this binder. A lot of this stuff I picked up well after the fact, but kept it all in great condition, sleeved them up, kept them organized. So, yes, yeah. Yeah, and again, there's a couple other banned cards I'm going to show you. At least banned artwork in Japan. This is still one of my absolute favorite Primate artworks here. You got the Dark Primate. He's ready for a fight, for sure. You get Dark Doug Trio bursting through someone's floor. Misty's Tears, very, very nice. I have one as well. Very, very cool card. It's unfortunate that they had to redo the artwork, but it makes sense. The Dark Machamp. I mean, again, every Pokemon in this. The Dark Dragonite. Everything was just so awesome. Porygon coming out of the box there. Dratini and Dragonair. Just all absolutely amazing cards. Now, I have to be careful because... Oh, no. It's not in this binder. There's another binder. Yeah, the Machamp looks sick. Absolutely insane. So, one of the other binders I'm going to show you, and just this is a heads up. There's a card I'm going to have to cover up because of a certain logo on that card. Which originally wasn't a bad thing, and then bad people made it a bad thing. If you're kind of hinting to what I'm getting to, you'll see in just a little bit, but I wanted to preface that ahead of time. And then if that wasn't enough, is when Nugget sees the scalpers. Oh, yeah, you should, Nugget, you should definitely tell, so go in Discord at some point, and Nugget, you should tell Wabbit some of the scalper stories for sure. But completed English set. Now, two things special with this set. This Dark Charizard, which this isn't mine, by the way. Well, now it is, but this was gifted to me by a very close friend of mine. We got to hang out before he moved out of state, and we were looking through his binder, and I was showing him all my stuff, and he saw that this was the last card I needed to complete this set. and he gave it to me, which is kind of awesome. I still think about it all the time. But yeah, so again, a lot of memories come through with these, right? And you think about stuff like that. Dark Gyarados, we have the pre-release stamped and the regular holo Gyarados there. Pre-releases were a lot different back in the day because you didn't just get them from a pre-release kit. You had to go to those events and get them. The other thing that's special about this set, everything besides the holos, and yes, I do have some first edition holos. Everything besides the holos. Oh, and another first edition there. From here to the end of the set is all first edition. Yes, I have a complete first edition set outside of the holos, right? There's the asterisk. But yeah, everything. Dark Charizard, Blastoise, Dragonite, all first editions. This is also why this is my favorite set of all time. It took me so long to get this set put together. And not all of these are near mint, but majority of them are. So, and that's the other thing that made this special, is going through and collecting that. Obviously, I do have a first edition Dark Raichu, but it's actively being graded. So we'll see how that goes. If it's a low grade, well, it goes back in the binder. If it's a high grade, it gets to stay graded. But again, #1 favorite set of all time, good old Team Rocket. In Japanese, the name of the set was called Rocket Gang. Again, originally released 1997. English version came out in 1999. And some of the release was into the 2000, right? It was still active in print run going into 2000. But yeah, absolute favorite set of all time in one of the best binders I've ever seen. I played in a musical about it, and I think, okay, gotcha. It would be fun if Pokemon did another first edition set. Ugh. Yeah, you think scalping's bad now? So 2 things that will make that even worse and absolutely ruin this, and I'm just going to say it now. Another first edition set, if they go first editions going forward, which would be absolutely terrible. Or serialized cards. Either one of those things happen, just go find a different hobby, because those 2 things would absolutely ruin it. All right, another vintage binder, off to a very strong start here. And this is why I was talking about that other, the fossil binder that I had. Do I want to put cards in there? Because I have a complete fossil set in here. Same thing like the other one. We have our pre-release stamped Aerodactyl and the regular. Yeah, fossil set. The very first rainbow card. I do have a first edition of this as well. Yeah, serialized cards would be absolutely terrible. Yeah. I know there's other TCGs that do it. We don't need it in Pokemon. I'll just leave it at that. But yes, this was another absolutely awesome set. First edition Raichu. Did I not have... Oh yeah, first edition Hitmonlee. I remember that one. Yeah, just some absolutely iconic cards. What's going on, Savage? How we doing? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, the Ditto. Absolutely amazing Ditto there. But this was a really, really fun set. Fairly small. It was only 64 cards, or 62 cards. Yeah. And again, oh, thanks, Savage. Appreciate the sub. Much appreciated. The other thing to keep in mind with the Team Rocket set, that set was the first airing of a secret rare. If you guys don't remember, the Dark Raichu is the very first secret rare in English Pokemon history. The very first one. Of course, they picked the best one to start with. So now we go into Jungle. So Jungle and Fossil, 2 very awesome sets. Something huge about this set, a lot of people don't know, is there's a print run error where they didn't have the set stamp here. So for instance, this Snorlax, and I was lucky enough to get one of the most expensive cards in the set with the error. See that there's no set stamp there? Obviously, these ones are supposed to have the Jungle set stamp. So you can get all of these holos without the set stamp on it. That's what I'd like to work on. Very, very expensive and tough to do, but that would be kind of sick. But, and again, a lot of these other cards in here, the non-holos are mixed first editions. But yeah. Absolutely amazing. Just, again, iconic artwork. Just some of the best stuff here. Good old Pikachu. All right, next. A little change of pace here, but I heard you like Gym series. I have both Gym Challenge and Gym Heroes in Japanese complete. I wish I had them complete in English, but even when I got back into collecting these, the English variants of these were way too expensive, so I said, hey, I'll stick with the Japanese. Got Rocket Scyther, one of my favorite Gym series holos. The Vileplume there. This all absolutely made. There's another Psyduck. There you go. You get the Psyduck and the Golduck here, both Misties. Completely battered. Gotcha. The Rocket's Moltres is kind of sick. But yeah, the Psyduck and the Golduck there. Misty's Gyarados. There's also a Giovanni's Gyarados. We'll see that here shortly. Lieutenant Surge. Man, this is when they actually cared about Lieutenant Surge and showed him off properly. I mean, all those absolutely amazing Lieutenant Surge cards. I'm getting a bunch of Brock's cards. I like the Rockets Hitmonchan. Okay. Good old Misty's Tears, the band artwork. Now, I have to look ahead just a little bit. I don't think it's this one. Hold on. Kind of sneak peek. No. But there's some more band cards coming. I just have to be careful when I get to one of them. It's banned for a very obvious reason. There's Erica and Growlithe there. Give them a nice little umbrella, keeping them dry. We get Lieutenant Surge and Raichu here. Lieutenant Surge and Electabuzz. We got Brock and Onix there. Misty and Psyduck. It's a pretty... That should be a dark card right there. And then on the Japanese side, the theme decks. Yep. The theme decks came with holos. So if you look underneath it, I have the regular version of the card. And then the deck version, which was a holo. Good old Lieutenant Surge, same thing here. Holo from the deck, and then the one you can actually get from the pack. Okay. Next. More Gym series. Erica's Venusaur. The Beedrill. Again, just all absolutely amusing cards. Absolutely amazing cards, sorry. The Nido Queen and Nido King. Next page is another big page here. I mean, just, ugh. All the absolute beauty. And look, there's something for everybody in this one. So here you go. Nugget and Wabbit can get along in harmony for once. So you get the Arcanine there, Blaine's Arcanine, Moltres. You get Sabrina's Psyduck, Sabrina's Golduck. Which one do you like better, Sabrina's or Misty's, Wabbit? Let me know. This Gyarados I like a little bit better than Misty's. The Raichu is sick. Obviously, the Charizard is absolutely insane. Blaine's Charizard. I wish I had this in English, but I think this just looks so much better in Japanese. In fairly good shape. Just one little bit of whitening right there. A little bit there, but again, it's not like I'm doing anything with these cards. They're going to stay in these binders anyway. Rocket Zapdos. Oof. Another banned card. Good old Sabrina's Gengar. They had to change this artwork because there's a graveyard, which I think is really dumb, but, you know, to each their own, right? That was the decision made by the Pokemon Company because supposedly they're scared of ghouls and goblins and skeletons. Another banned artwork. They had to change this one. Should be a little bit of an obvious reason why I won't get into it. You get Machop, Machoke, and Machamp there. One of my favorite Machamp holos of all time. It's just such a badass card. Looks like he's got a bunch of like lightning energy coming off of him. Ooh, long time. Very long time. I want to say I finished it maybe a year or two after I started making content. So, just to put that into perspective. Okay. This is one of my favorite Persian cards of all time. Just because of the artwork and that background. I mean, it just looks so sick. the Ditto, the giant spilled out Ditto everywhere. All right, another banned card. This is banned because it's supposedly Sabrina's giving the middle finger in this artwork. I don't think so, but they completely changed that one. Now the next page has another banned card that I need to be very careful about. And it's this one right here. I'm just going to take it out. I'm going to cover up the image. So unfortunately, I have to do this. So on this card, this is Koga's ninja trick. There's a symbol right here that for thousands of years was a sign of peace, and then a group of people ruined it for everybody. I won't get into the details. If you're older than, I don't know, 10 years old, you probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, banned artwork for that reason. They put a different logo over that. But still, some absolutely beautiful cards. Now, the funny thing about this, right? I showed you all the deck hollows, right? The only trainer on the Japanese side that did not get a hollow was Koga. Every other deck had a hollow for the trainer. Koga did not get one. He only has a non-hollow variant, which is insane to me. Kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. But yes, another absolutely amazing binder. Let me put that banned card back in. All right, down to the very last binder. Well, no, I'm sorry. Do I want to show? All right, I'm not going to show this one just yet. 33. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so we're within the same age range then. Okay. There's some awesome stuff in here, but I'm gonna hold off on that just 1 second because I forgot about two other binders. Now, we talk about base set Pokemon, right? 1999. We talk about Japanese base set 1996. I'm about to show you stuff that's older, that predates Japanese Pokemon base set. Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, of course. That's, again, it's weird, right? And I understand where you're coming from, Maz. Because, again, for thousands of years, that symbol was a sign of peace. There was all over the place, right? There's a lot of military bases in Japan that have that symbol everywhere. There's facilities even in the U.S. that have that symbol before that happened. So, I get it. So, what do you guys know about Cardos? And no, it's not Card Ass, even though it looks like it. It's Cardos. This is when Bandai made Pocket Monsters before the official release. This was a licensed thing. So Top Sun and Cardos, Bandai and Top Sun made Pokemon cards before the official release of the TCG, and this is what they look like. There's two different sets. Obviously, I don't have them complete, even though I wish. It's kind of sick to have this in here. And then look at these binders. So there's two different sets. There is the green set, and then there's a red set. You would get these in Japan out of a vending machine, which is kind of crazy. But yes, all original 151. Yeah, these are absolutely insane. So for instance, let me take out Psyduck. So what's cool about these is they're just, I mean, obviously completely different design. But yeah, these all predate the original release. I know this says 1996 there. That was the latest copyright date. These were actually made in 1995. And then same thing with the Top Sun cards. There's Top Sun cards that came out in 97. And 95 through 97. But again, I don't have all of these. It's just the original 151 with these little set list cards in here, which is kind of neat. But there's two different vending machines. So I thought, hey, let me get two binders. And yes, they're the exact same binders. I just got two of them. And I wanted to display these two different ways. So you saw the other sleeves before, how they go this way and they slide top to bottom. Well, these sleeves slide in this way. So you get a little bit different viewpoint. There's a Golduck. But yeah, these cards are absolutely insane. They are a bit hard to find. That's why I don't have a complete set. But you can get the non-holos at least. They're not overly crazy just yet. There's the Lapras, and some of the holos are pretty expensive, but Cardos, when Bandai made Pokemon cards, kind of crazy, right? Very quick, but these are the oldest Pokemon cards that I have. And I do want to complete these hopefully sooner than later. But, all right, last but definitely not least. And shout out to Card Caravan, if anyone knows who that is, over on Instagram and eBay as well. Yeah, this is an OG of OGs. I had a lot of help from Card Caravan getting this set up, and I appreciate that. But here we go. Shadowless base set, non-first edition, but shadowless. And you're probably thinking, well, hey, there's something missing right there. Well, you know what? Hold on 1 second. I'm one step ahead of you. Should have grabbed this earlier. Okay, so just set that right there for right now. And yes, I know people are going to look at the grade and be like, oh man, that grade is so terrible. Well, to be honest, a lot of my other holos in here aren't great either. You see the conditions, right? Either damaged, heavily played, moderately played. So it makes sense. Plus, this card is more expensive than I'd say 80% of this entire binder. So it's cool to say I finally have a Shadowless Charizard. I don't care about the grade. I really don't. I just have it with the complete set. There were times where I was thinking about cracking this, honestly. I was going to crack it and just put it in the binder. I decided against that. Yeah. I try, right? And and again, this is just a fraction of my collection, which is kind of crazy. We have the Shadowless and Blastoise here. This was the one that was actually in better shape, even though this one's kind of terrible. I do have a graded one, which I think I got a 2.5 or a 3.5. But yeah, so I put this off to the side here. But yeah, complete set. And again, kind of have rough conditions on the edges here. The Mewtwo, in terms of the holo, is probably one of the ones that's in the best condition. Come on. Yeah, this one's light played, maybe even close to near mint. I would say probably I would lean more towards on the light played side of it, but yeah. And again, these are all cards I don't plan on doing anything with. They're in the binder, they're in the collection. But yes, all shadowless. If you're not familiar with what that means, if you compare it to some of the regular cards, the text is different here. There's no shadow on this border, and the actual background color is a lot lighter. Absolutely, and I think that's part of me collecting, right, and why I wanted to get back into collecting and just like the memory behind it. Because you get stories from it, you know, the people you interacted with to make these things happen. We got Pikachu with both red cheeks and regular. Again, both shadowless, two different iterations there. But yeah, and that's the other reason why I like this stuff too, Maz, is like all the memories that are tied to this stuff. We got Squirtle here. Let me see. Oh yeah, there's the Machop. Good old shadowless Machop there. But yeah, and again, it was just so many memories behind all this stuff, and that's why I'm glad I was able to get all this stuff, and then it gets even better, right? So, Shadowless base set. I wish I had a full no rarity set, but no. I do have a complete Japanese base set, though, so we're gonna go through that. I mean, like, look at this, just absolutely insane. We got the Venusaur Japanese base set. Yeah, I was right. Grass-type Nidoking, the way they had it originally. Base set, Japanese Charizard. Damn, this card looks good. I know it's not perfect, But in terms of, like, if I was to grade the two of these, oh, my phone's at 20% battery. We got to speed this up. This card, if I was to grade this myself, I'd say this is probably at maybe 7.5, maybe even close to 8. I'd say I'd probably keep it at an 8, and I won't give the details why, but I'd say probably a 7.5. Will I grade this eventually? Maybe, just so I have both of these graded, but it's definitely in better condition than this guy here. And then, I mean, this page is amazing. Blastoids, of course. I do have a graded one of these. Well, actually, 2 different iterations, and I'll show you very quickly. Actually, 3 iterations, because I'm crazy like that. Japanese, no rarity. So this is what I would say is like equivalent to English Shadowless. Or English First Edition, rather. So, got into 3.5, and the green CGC label means that there was inked somewhere on that card. My Grail of Grails. This was my chase card. The base set, I'm sorry, Japanese base set, no rarity, Blastoise. Bought it raw, got it graded. And then another one, just regular, Japanese base set, and the 9. Just absolutely insane. But, yeah. Obviously, I like Blastoise. Yeah, it took me forever to get the the very first one that I ended up grading and getting a 7. And then, like, maybe a year after, I saw the green label one on eBay, and I had to have it. Again, Raichu, Blastoise, Poliwrath, Gyarados, Alakazam, Mewtwo. I mean, just iconic. Doesn't get much better than this. And it's cool because I pieced all this stuff together myself, like, and working on getting these binders and all these cards together. Now, I am missing one card. It's an energy, which I know seems kind of crazy, but I'm missing the colorless energy. But yeah, that's the only card I'm technically missing, even though I have the full set. Japanese Jungle. Again, another absolutely beautiful set. I love how this worked out, where all 3 of the evolutions fit in the binder. I even have a duplicate of one of these because I bought 2 and I wasn't paying attention, and they literally both arrived the exact same day. But yeah, that worked out really nice. I love just all the Japanese vintage holos are some of the best out there. I love this this Pidgeot. The Snorlax. And then last, but definitely not least, Japanese Fossil, complete set. Just iconic cards. Just the Raichu, Lapras, Articuno, Zapdos. I mean, it's all here. There's that first print, right? The first viewing of that Slowpoke. You saw the reimagining in the other set. This Mew is really awesome because we only saw this artwork in an English promo. This wasn't a part of the English Fossil set. Got Gengar there. Haunter. You got the Dragonite, one of my favorites. Hitmonlee, Articuno, Kabutops, the Ditto. And yeah. And that's it. Yeah, I know this binder's seen better days, but it's everything inside is protected, and that's all that matters. All right, so that is going to do it for today. Well over 3 hours. Wasn't even all the binders, it's just the ones that, you know, are either close to complete or somewhat complete. Or had some kind of, you know, sentimental value to me, so. But I do appreciate everyone coming through and checking out the stream. Let's do some shout-outs before absolutely a fun stream. Let me do some shout-outs before my phone dies. So Maz, again, thanks again for coming by. Bad Wabbit, Nugget, thank you all so much. Roxanne, thanks for coming by and enjoying the stream and dropping that sub. It's greatly appreciated. Yes, I do. It's been a lot of work getting here. And again, that's just the binders aspect, right? Like, you guys have seen the graded stuff. You guys have seen the sealed stuff. There's a lot. Roxanne, again, thanks for coming by. Savage Jesus, thank you so much for coming by and dropping the sub. Saya, good to see you. Let's see. Already called out Nugget and Bad Wabbit. Thank you both so much. Who else? I know there was somebody else. Oh, Hilario, I know you popped in for a little bit there. Thanks for coming by. Ben, thank you for coming by, whether it's a real person or a bot. Thank you. Appreciate you coming by. Glenn came by real early in the stream. Thank you, Glenn. I think that's everybody. Let me just make sure I don't want to miss anybody. Oh, Pete. Pete came by for a little bit. Pete Dorr. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate you. See, that's why I scroll back through. This is why I look at the stream on here, and I look back through the comments. Josh came through, which, again, if that's a real person, thanks for coming by. If that's a bot, okay. Oh, Brock Sampson came through. Thank you very much. And that was it. All right, cool. So again, thank you all so much for coming by. Hopefully you enjoyed a little peek into the collection. Should have some actual stuff to open up next Sunday, so keep an eye out for that. We got another Friday Final Fantasy stream scheduled, so keep an eye out for that as well. But yeah, it's 3 o'clock. I need to eat. I need to do some things around the house and then try and get some gaming in before the day ends. But again, thank you all so much for coming by. Make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm WakoBako. Take it easy.